Nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, sorry, Spotify. We don't need you anymore. And I forgot to share you for half that anyway. So, okay, we find ourselves back at the rousing spark. All right, what's been going on with all of you? This is the Tyrion Dragon Camp. What is it, Tal'Dorei Camp? So last session, you received your first quest as official adventurers of the Tal'Dorei Council. Let's see. Um, you have been told to seek out. There we go. Thank you for working. Um, yeah, you signed your contracts, and Yvain handed over the Oscar scroll to Allura, and you were given the quest to investigate the claims of an arcane philosophical mage by the name of Jomen Tash, who claimed to have possession of the authentic pages of the Lost Von Ethro journal, not fake ones, but authentic ones. He met you all at the Rousing Spark and told you of his discoveries, his research that he had been very thorough, and he thought now is the time for excavation. Or now's the time to delve those very ruins, now that he's deciphered the book well enough. Um, oh, yes, how could I have forgotten? A certain Dragonborn has decided that he will join you on your next wonderful adventure. Karzi, Tal'Dor, or Emon's top model, has been invited through no small amount of charisma on his part to join your party for the duration of your next adventure. He's very excited, very, very over the top, very enthusiastic, and has no intentions of putting on anything a little bit more functional. And we'll be joining you. You also made a request to the Tal'Dorei Council for a scroll of water breathing, and indeed, you accepted it from the offices of the Coin Mistress, Lady Vixalia de Roller herself. With that, Ember found Fiona Balmhan at the sanctuary of Avandra and gained a little guidance, perhaps, about Avandra and how she works and how Ember felt a pull in that direction of that particular religion. And Fiona offered all the assistance she could possibly bring to bear and maybe help Ember sort of understand his sorcerer nature, where it's come from, and what his path is. Yeah, you all went to sleep, and now it is the next day, and the only thing that has been determined is that Beverly will be coming along for this next adventure. You guys have quite a little expedition on your hands. You got a squire, you got a rabbit with a horn, you've got a model, everything you need to delve into a dangerous ruin. What what would the Aurora Concordant like to do with their day? Emon is yours.
I would like to take Beverly shopping.
She's very happy to go shopping, and she will go shopping with you. You make your way to the various markets, and she looks around. And, he's like, "So Finch, are you looking for a new sword, or do we need to? I know my polish stores are a little low for your armor. I could find some more polish."
Oh no, we're not shopping for me today. We're shopping for you. If you're going to come with us, you need to be properly suited. So we're looking for armor and for a weapon for you today.
Okay, cool. Thanks. And her cheeks go a little red, and there's a little pep in her step. You can see the excitement is thorough in this young squire. Yeah, you guys go shopping. So where are you taking?
I feel like just like a regular like an armor. I know there doesn't have to be anything fancy because like obviously this is just kind of like starter stuff to make sure that she's well protected. So I think I would go to like an armor smith, like one that I'm sure that like by now with us being in the city and like having been from here, like there has to be one around that like we've been to that I've trusted. So like we would go there.
Yeah. You got a reliable one, maybe says Finch Undergard, welcome. And he goes, what can I do for you today?
I'm actually looking for some armor for my squire here, and I'll like kind of like push like Beverly like in front of me a little bit.
Just like, hi. And he goes, oh, young Beverly, not shopping for the knights. It seems that it's your time to pick a weapon, is it?
He goes, sure is.
I guess so. Well, come on in, young warrior. And he pats her on the back and invites her in. Shows her the menagerie of weapons. You see her go through them and sort of always looking to you before she touches anything for sort of permission. She picks up a blowgun, and looks it over, puts it down. She goes over to like a mall. She's like, "Oh, that Keljaya woman could lift it. I'm sure it wouldn't be." Oh, and then like falls down. She hasn't quite enough strength for that maybe yet. She takes a look at a halberd. She gets a flail and swings it around a couple times. You've trained her how to use all of these. And she looks at you and she goes, "Well, what do you think, Finch? What do you think I should? What kind of weapon do you think I should get?"
Based off of your current skill set, I think that you would be best suited, perhaps with a long sword and a shield.
Oh, oh, wow. Okay. So cool. And she'll, we have a number of fine long swords here, young lady. Check the balance, see if they work for you, and she'll take them. And you see, she does like check it properly. It is a little big for her. She's still filling out, and it is worth saying that Beverly, you starting to notice that Beverly is filling out a little bit more with all of your training over the last long while. Her strength score is going up. She's putting on a little muscle. And she wields the long sword with, she's able to handle the weight. She looks at the blade and she looks over a couple of them, and she ends up picking, like they're all the same price, but she ends up picking the one that certainly has the most like flair on it. Maybe it's got like a hilt that has like almost like a scimitar like curve to it, and she's like, yeah, and she likes that one. She goes and finds a shield. She gets like a traditional like knightly kite shield that suits her size. They put those, and he goes, "All right, we'll put these over here," and he'll tell you what you run up so far. Let's see here. So the long sword's 15. The shield is another 10, so you're at 25 right now. Good night.
Not a problem. Yep. So with that, I think I want to get her suited with some armor if you have any available.
Of course, we have all kinds of armor. This is we aren't the actual smithy or leatherworker shop, but we do sell them in retail. So we have plenty of armors to choose from. We were thinking heavy, medium, light. I would say, and I leave this to you, Finch, and this will probably help me understand how you've trained Beverly. So clearly she's proficient in like martial weapons and simple weapons. She's got all of those. You've trained her to be a proper warrior, I assume, not a cleric, but like almost like in a more paladin way.
Yes.
Okay, so she can wield a long sword. How about armor? Have you trained her again towards the paladin way of things? She would have proficiency in all armor sets, sort of a suit and a shirt.
I think so, and I think like with I'll say like with most kids, like I'm not gonna be like, yeah, let's go like full like half plate off the bat, but like something that like keeps her protected. But isn't like she's got to like kind of like work for like, because I mean like Finch wasn't even like a full plate until like relatively recently, so
like starter gear, so per her you deciding that it would be best for her to be equipped with a shielded sword. I imagine that you have built her for strength rather than dexterity.
For now. I think as time goes on, like I know you and I haven't had like a whole conversation about her, but I feel like right now it's more for her protection than anything else. But like as she advances, if she wants to use like a two-handed weapon, because like we haven't had any conversations about like, if she actually goes like the paladin route and she chooses like an oath or you know what I mean, like anything like that. So like for now, like I feel like a shield is just for more her protection, and later on, if she wants to use like a two-handed weapon, that's a conversation that like could happen.
Yeah, well, this deciding is helping me understand. In video games where it's like, do you want the this or the that, and then it's like it shapes what your character build is. That's kind of what we're doing right now. So you've given her a long sword, and that's a strength weapon. I am considering having a house rule that long swords are finesse because obviously. But for now, that's a strength-based weapon, and you also have trained in heavy, so most dexterity classes don't usually get heavy, so I assume she's a strength build. So Um, I think your smithy friend would be like, well, good night. I would say that most starting adventurers typically, even at the highest end, usually find themselves in chainmail.
Mhm.
She seems strong enough to be able to wear it. But if don't want to go the 75 gold piece route, you can go down a peg to ringmail, which is a 14 AC. No strength requirements.
No, we can go the full chainmail is fine.
Beverly kind of has a little like she's trying to be humble, but she's excited. She gets a full set of chainmail. He goes, "Well, let's get you fitted, young lady." And he'll bring her over and get her measurements and find something that will suit her size. She's growing into herself. She's a teenage girl, but she's starting to
Mhm.
sort of fill out and become a little broader and a little more muscular, and her womanly form is starting to come through, and he'll fit her accordingly, so she will fit into like a proper medium-sized humanoid chainmail set, a little on the smaller side, but still. And with that, the curtain sort of pulls back, and you see Beverly step out in full chainmail, with a kite shield and a long sword in her hand.
How's it feel, kid? And I'll like hit her on her shoulders.
I feel heavy, but ready.
Okay, yeah. It's gonna take some getting used to, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of time before we leave. We can kind of get you accustomed to it so we can like train a little bit with you wearing it, wearing certain things so that you're not completely taken by surprise. Because the last thing we want is for us to encounter anything and then have you just be encumbered by the things that we're getting for you now to protect you. That's going to just be counterintuitive to what it is that we're doing. So
Right.
we'll have you get
Right.
used to it. But I promise, like over time, the more you wear it, the more it'll grow on you.
Okay. And I will say, so the shopkeep will say, all right, Run Warrior's looking fine. That'll be 100 gold pieces for to get your full kit, my friend.
Yep, not a problem. And I'll hand over the 100 gold.
Says, all right, well, good dragon slaying, young lady. And she'll go like, oh, thank you. And you guys will go wandering down the street. And I'll ask you, Finch. You've been training Beverly. How do you think she does in this armor? Do you think she tires quickly, or does she bear it well? Like, what do you think her constitution's like? Have you been focusing on that kind of training?
Yeah, I think that she would, just given the fact that like when it comes to her training, it hasn't been like stagnant, meaning like us as an adventuring party, we haven't been in like the same space, like just training her day in, day out. She's been traveling with us, like carrying things, like doing tasks, like building
Yeah,
up her strength and endurance, even if she hasn't been wearing like, our armor. So yeah, I think that she would be like pretty strong and be able to like take to the armor well.
got you. She's no barbarian, but she's been
Right.
working on it. Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. All right. Okay, I think I got her physical stats well suited, and you've been. And I guess my last question, I'm not really sure how to put this in. Or actually, no, we can put a little narrative in there. So I'll tell you what. She goes, "Oh, I just got a couple things to buy before we get going." And
Okay.
she is going to start like looking around the market, and she's going to look for good supplies for both her armor and your armor, as you can still
Mhm.
maintain you as a squire. So I guess my question there is, has there been a lot of focus to wisdom-based stuff? Do you think you've been focusing on insight, survival skills, perception? Is this the thing you've been focusing on, or not really?
I think more just like martial skills for now and like getting her like focused on that. I'm not saying that we wouldn't focus on that, but I
Yeah,
don't think in terms of like her training, that's something that like I probably would focus on like a little bit later on to have her be like more well-rounded.
absolutely understood, and makes sense given the training. And as she goes to start like purchasing with like the small pittance of coin, and that's kind of like an off table, something we really looked at. But as she goes to
Mhm.
start going to different traders and purchasing those goods, how well do you think she does at sort of talking to people? How confident is she? How charismatic would you say
I
she
think
is?
that I think that she would be. I think that she would be shy, but like, not afraid to approach different people. Again, just because of the nature of our adventuring party, like we've brought on like many a character, and she has met like she's interacted with many people, and then we've like forced her to interact with many people by sending her on errands. So I think
Yeah,
that she would do fine. Like again, I
it's
don't
true.
think that she's like rizzing people up, but I also think that she's like coming into her own where she's
Yeah,
like not afraid to step up to like people and like ask for things.
got it. She does not have social anxiety, or at least deals with it pretty well. And lastly, and I think I can answer this for you for what you've already expressed, as she cannot be good at everything. As you guys get on your horses and start riding back to the Rousing Spark, and you guys are kind of like talking about the sights in Emon. You've been here for a little while. How much she picks up, how much she remembers about the history of Emon, and where things are here and there. So I imagine her intelligence might be a little low. Not
Yeah.
not dumb, but
Yeah, not yeah, exactly. And
you
then
know,
is it possible that like as we are out like and she's shopping around, can I pick up like an amulet? Because I don't know if like she has one or not, like a whole like a Bahamut amulet, like a holy
you
symbol.
gave her one the day that
That's
you
what I thought.
surrendered
Okay, I
your
couldn't remember if I
squire.
did. Okay.
Yeah, she's got it. She's
All
been she's
right.
been bearing it proudly since the day you got
That's right. Okay,
gave it
that's
to
what I
her.
thought. And then I was like, did I shit? So I was like, I
Cool.
just want to make sure that she has that.
Got it. And the last thing I'll get you with is I think she would have proficiency in, let's say, three skills for now. Her being, sort of a young squire coming into the actual martial world. She hasn't been in her first battle yet. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong here about the three skills that she might have been taught, but I feel like athletics, you've been certainly
Yes.
teaching her about athletics.
Hmm.
Cool. Religion, it seems like you've been having a lot of conversations about theology and Bahamut.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. And the last one, I admit I'm not as certain. Part of me wants to say something towards the charismatic side of things, but I'll ask you, what would you say that third skill probably is that you've been teaching Beverly?
That's a good question. Um,
Like you say, she's been trading a lot. It could be a persuasion situation. It could be something else.
yeah, I'm just looking at the list.
Yeah.
I do feel like yeah, if we're talking about like charisma and like I think you're right with athletics with her strength training. When it comes to like just anything with charisma, I think persuasion makes the most sense.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It just seems like the thing that made most sense in my mind. But
Hmm.
you think there was something that made more sense.
Yeah, because like intimidation just doesn't make sense or deception.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so with that, Beverly walks out, kitted with chainmail, long sword, and shield. She is a strong and durable young lady who has learned how to be confident and courageous, and thus charismatic, but lacks a little bit, is a little more average towards the wisdom, intelligence, and extra side of things.
hmm.
But has had very specific focus into her athletic skills. Maybe you've sent her on a couple runs in the morning.
Yeah.
You have certainly spoken about theology and religious philosophy and the doctrine of Bahamut. And she's also learned from her many outings to go talk to people and accept letters and buy things from shopkeepers that she's
Yep.
learned how to make a good price with persuasion.
Hmm.
Sweet. So with that, I'm pretty certain about what I'm doing with Beverly at this point, which is great.
Awesome.
Cool. She has been sent. She is out into the world. Haha. And you can return to the Rousing Spark. Your squire is ready for battle.
I will do that. And like as we come in, like I don't know, is it still morning time or would everybody like be there or would everybody be like doing their own thing?
It's up to you. If you want to leave like early to catch the shops as they open, you could and be
I
back
think I
like
would. Yeah. Because I
okay.
would
We'll say
wonder
that
like because I don't
yeah.
know like what the timing is with us leaving. So I feel like I would want to like I'm obviously aware of like how awkward it is to be in new like armor and stuff. So I think, just even if I was assuming we are leaving tomorrow, like just trying to get her used to what she's wearing. So yeah, I think we would leave pretty early.
Got it. Uh, Sweet. So as you guys are all having breakfast, Finch and and Beverly, who's usually running around the kitchen, is strangely missing. But you are all well entertained by Karzadrawn Sunscales, who says, "It's excellent. Oh, pass the biscuits over. I've nothing else like them in a mod, I'd say. and you pass them around. And as the door opens, you'll see Finch and the guard, as always, enters in, and a fully kitted Beverly. Sort of still getting used to her chain.
I'm just picturing. You ever see like a Christmas Story and she puts him in like the snow gear and he's like,
yeah. No, she wears it well. I have that image as well, but we can't forget that she's
been training for this. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe like it's fitted well, but she's a little awkward in it, but it fits her well. Yeah. Still getting used to the weight. But yeah, she sort of walks in with her chainmail. She's got a little glimmer of excitement in her eye.
Go ahead, kid, go show him. And I'll like shove her towards the table.
Okay.
Zervo kind of gives her a smirk out of the scarred side of his mouth, and winks at her and says, "Good kid."
Oh,
goes, thanks, Mr. Zarhog.
And Yvain will smile and say, "Welcome to the team."
Oh, thank you. She's like a little, her cheeks are all rosy. Just kind of.
I feel like Happy hops over and gives her a biscuit.
Oh, your first official morning breakfast meeting, and I'll pull out a chair for her to like sit at the table.
Wow. Okay. She like onto the chair.
Clank.
Clank onto the chair. Because it's so loud. But it's good. It feels good.
Chainmail isn't all that loud.
But yeah,
I've worn it. I can tell you, over a padded gambeson is not that loud.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Oh, well, maybe I'll.
It's a little jingly, maybe, but not very.
Okay, and I would say she does have the gambeson. It isn't just like she's in common clothes and just toss some chainmail on her. She's probably got the
that's
kit.
No.
No?
No, that's Owie.
So many pinch nipples.
Oh yeah, the just like flat chainmail on the body.
Pinchy and throwing it on over a t-shirt after it's been sitting in the sun on the side bank near the joust. No. It's hot and pinchy.
I saw Kingdom of Heaven where they're walking through the desert and they're like pouring water on themselves. I got you. But yeah, she's got the full kit. Maybe she's sweating a little bit because it is a lot. But she's getting used to the heat. But she looks pretty happy with herself. Pretty well equipped and happy with herself.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, you can hear you.
Thank goodness. Okay.
So as Beverly is settling in, all right, so before our friend comes in, I wanted to say this. As someone who knows a thing or two about not wanting to give things away, we need to examine the actual journal pages before we leave. First of all, our scout needs to see them. Second of all, our cartographer needs to see them in case for whatever reason we were to get separated. And I want our historian, and she'll look at Glint, to see them. Because he even admitted that he found them on the black market. We have to authenticate these things to the best of our ability before we run off with someone we don't know to God knows where to face a thing that's going to drive us insane. I just think we should be cautious. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, I'd be happy to take a look.
Ember, you want one point on it? You're more charming than I am.
I'm happy to, but I do have a few things that I need to do this morning in preparation for travel. But to be perfectly honest with you, I won't need more than a couple of minutes to look at him, to commit him to memory.
And we don't. This isn't a discussion we're going to have until we're right about to leave anyway. So we have some good leverage. Like, we've already shown good faith. We're contacted the Tal'Dorei Council, and there's absolutely no way any academic worth their salt would expect that they would have the kind of support that he's got from the Tal'Dorei Council without having their research authenticated. Like, he should expect it, and it's weird that he didn't offer it. You know, most of the time you're really proud of the things you've done. Like, usually academics don't shut up about that sort of thing and are all about proving why they're right and everyone else is wrong. It's
Not, not everybody's that way. I know more than anybody else. The world takes all kinds.
Listen, I'm not judging. I'm honestly not. It's just groups of individuals will tend to behave a certain way for their own preservation. Yeah? So, as an academic, you live and die by your reputation, and your reputation is based on what you can prove. So when you have hard proof, like, you're usually quick to wave it around.
But
Lynn,
he's directly putting himself in the line of fire, because it's not like he's not coming with us. So putting his own ass on the line is effectively that piece of look at my proof.
I don't like
it. He's betting his own keister in the process.
I'm not going until he shows his pages. If he's not willing to show his pages, he's not serious. Like, there's certain standards of academic rigor. I've been doing this for a bit now. I know what's expected. We have to make it
and
go ahead, Ember, you first.
And that's all fine and good. The reality is that I'm not going to know their veracity one end from the other.
No, you won't, but Glint might. But you can memorize them.
Well, assuming that we saw the copies the other evening while he was here.
He did not. He did not show them. That's why we're having this conversation.
Not the actual pages, but I thought we saw copies of them.
So to set some things clear, he definitely didn't show you the authentic journal. He was more than happy to show the pages and pages and pages of research that he had done onto it, which Glyn, you did take a look at and did sort of see that he is a proficient scholar and that he has done his rigorous effort, and it is clear the work of many months to authenticate. So from his research, it's very much having the code, but not having anything to decode. You know what I mean? It's like having how do I put it? It's like having the cipher, but not anything to decode. But at the same time, it is a very authentic cipher, if that's the best analogy I can give it to you. So is expressing that, like, you know, if the book that he has does relate to the research he handed you, it's good. It's authentic. The other thing is, Yvain, I would like you to make a history check about, or an insight check, either one, about this interpretation you have about academics.
So it's 19 plus 7, I think.
So this gentleman, so that will certainly meet the DC. So this gentleman indeed is an academic, but in this moment he is an archaeologist and explorer. Now, when venturing to find something, a discovery, there's only one of them. And, you know, you have to be very careful about who you share your research with and who you show your stuff with, because there is the very real possibility that someone's going to try and steal your discovery. So his caution, shall we say, is very perhaps expected and warranted, given the delicacy of this journey he wishes to undertake.
If you want me to make a deception check, I am happy to, but if you check the chat, that's my motivation. See what I'm saying?
Sure. Sure. Go ahead.
There's game recognizes game. She could be wrong, but
yeah, no, that's okay. Very interesting. No, it's just that It's interesting because exactly what I'm explaining is exactly what this guy's cautious against. So it's like the cat's out of the bag at this point. So it's funny. But yeah, where'd you roll your deception?
17.
17. Does anyone
Yeah.
have a passive insight of 17 or higher in the party?
Definitely not.
No. Okay. Moving right along. You do see the fellow, like, as previously promised, he does have his bags and stuff packed and prepared. He is ready to go on this excavation whenever you guys are all ready. He told you guys that if you want to try and find a different entrance, the Crystal Fen Caverns, than what he has gleaned from the journal, you are more than welcome to. But he awaits your all readiness to go on this journey.
This is morning time, correct?
This is indeed morning.
Okay.
And, like, Ember still had some things he wanted to do and such. I think.
Yeah,
he's-
and Glint just needs to scribe that water scroll for water breathing, which would take 6 hours. So he's gonna be ready around like 2:30 p.m. roughly, probably.
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you wanna, I think you did some work on that last night, didn't you?
Depending on when the scroll was passed over, once people were done smelling it, if memory serves, Glint would have tried to get a late night start on it. Yes.
Yeah. Because I think I recall like Karzi coming in. You were like, "Hey, can I come downstairs and take a break from my scribe?" Oh, you were copying.
Yes, I was also
You're-
copying spells from one spellbook into the second spellbook.
Got it. So yes, you haven't done any work, but yeah, you can
Yeah.
begin work on that immediately. You'll just need the coin to do so.
Yes. Let's see. I did buy some scribing ink already, so that's 50 gold. I'll need to get another 100. I think I have 120 because Yvain gave Glint some money for the spear, so I have just enough to cover it. Right, and I'm adding it in to my book real quick once this works with me.
Oh boy, I wish I did Karzi's sheet this week, but I did not, as Runechild is a really exciting and difficult to handle.
It's an interesting one, yeah.
I played it in a one shot. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. But
yeah, it looks really fun and dynamic in a way that's really weird to me. It hurts my brain a little bit whenever I read through it.
Yeah, it hurts my brain as well, but I am a big fan. Definitely a big fan. Anyway, so yep. Mr. Glint, you can certainly go to work. 6 hours to copy that over. What about everybody else who's got stuff to do?
I absolutely do,
Mm-hmm.
but it's fairly quick and direct.
Okay.
I need to go to Gilmore's.
Okay.
I need to get a pair of sending stones.
Okay.
And I need to have them put 2 more earrings in our loop.
All right. Let me just get that cost up and done for you, sir. Okay, so let's see here. They will charge you 2 more in the link, so let's call that maybe 160 gold for the 2 earrings added to the link, which
Okay.
they can do really quickly. And as for the sending stone, that is going to be 300 gold pieces.
Okay.
Cool. Yep, they provide you with that easily.
And that's everything on my to-do. I have to
Um,
write a small little letter, and that's it.
Okay, yeah, you can write a letter. You certainly will have the time, as your wizard will require quite a bit more. Anybody else?
No, I think I'm just getting I showed up from training late and just kind of waiting around for the party to be ready to go while everybody does their book stuff.
Sure thing, sure thing. Okay. Incredible. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so it sounds like everybody's just kind of waiting around. Today's just maybe just kind of a float day. You kind of hang around the Rousing Spark and do this and that. I think we'll say maybe Finch and Beverly go into the back, or maybe Beverly just does it by herself. It starts like literally running circles around the Rousing Spark, just like getting used to the weight of the chainmail. Maybe she does some sword movements and is just getting ready for whatever's next. Karzi just is sort of chatting people up. I don't think some of them are there. He goes and chats up people in the bar. He very quickly finds himself in deep and enthralled conversation with Shirku, the two of them just sort of hanging out by the bar, sharing a glass, and just gregarious laughter and stories being shared. And it's a good time over there. And yeah, the day just sort of goes by for a couple of hours until Lint, I imagine you appear from your room with your spell properly scribed.
Now, I do have a final important step of testing this. I've been trying it on myself for the last 2.5 hours, which is just kind of difficult. You can't really, have a group effect whenever you're not a group. I may contain multitudes, but I am not that multitudinous. Do you all have a moment, or about 10.5 minutes?
Yes.
Sure.
Wonderful. And I will do a testing ritual cast of water breathing on the party.
The party, certainly so. You definitely do. With that little, these bubbles begin to appear around the heads of all of your party, and different people in the bar sort of look over and it's quite interesting. But indeed, it seems that you are successfully a caster of the water breathing ritual.
Excellent. Now, as a final step, I just need to try and drown someone in the sink.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Excellent.
and you absolutely stepped forward at the same time. She was like, okay,
You can flip a coin forward, Rochambeau, whoever wants.
Oh no, I would never. Absolutely of you.
That's fucking great. Yeah, you pick your choice of a victim, and you do a little dunking, and indeed, Zarvol's face is shoved underwater, and Zarvol, you're like, wow, this is great. I'm not even done, and you're successfully alive while being drowned.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, then. For the time being, we are good to go, I think.
Hell yeah. All right. So with that, your party is most certainly ready. But I will say, is there any gear anyone else needed to pick up, or are you ready to get going?
Yeah, I've got shield. Bad dadgummit, hold on. You know what? Yeah, fine. Fuck it.
All right.
There are two things Yvain would have tried to pick up in those 6 hours if she can go to the market. And we don't have to roleplay it. I will throw it flat out.
What were they?
A rod of collapsing and a house of cards.
a rod of collapsing and a house of cards. I assume these are magic items.
Latter
Uncommon?
one, yeah.
I think they're uncommon.
The pole is common. That's the one that just turns into a 10-foot, correct? Then
Yeah,
goes down to a 1-foot
basically,
baton.
if you need to spring a trap, you can stand 15 feet away from it.
Yeah, it's the old Tomb of Annihilation 10-foot pole trick.
Yes.
Yeah, pole of collapsing and house of cards. That's a new.
The latter one, or that latter one, is from the Deck of Many Things book, I think.
Yes. They do not have a house of cards in stock, but they most certainly have a pole of collapsing, which they'll sell for 50 gold.
All right, I will gladly buy that for 50 gold and give it to Zarfolg.
Oh yeah.
It's a. She hands you a 10-foot long pole, as if she was
That's the
making a
pole of
joke.
collapsing.
Yeah. Pole of collapsing. That's right.
We don't have a rogue, we have keys, and if we all use our keys, well, this. Poke at it from distance.
Poke it. I love a good poking.
Me too.
Clearly.
I saw it coming. Saw that coming a mile away. Oh man. As a note, if you wanted to hire a rogue, I mean, there's class people right over there. Just saying, put that out there. But if not, and the party is well and ready to go, you can certainly approach your I guess clients, kind of. Anyway, you can approach him and be ready to go if you wish.
Yeah, I put the letter in the Zoom chat.
Ooh, okay. Thank you.
It's just something quick and easy. One half of the pair of sending stones is I'm going to give it to Emma to give it to Nero whenever he actually shows up.
Understood. Understood.
And when we gather at the table before we roll out, I will hand both Beverly and Glint each an earring of message.
She goes, "Oh, cool!" She takes her and she's like, "Awesome! My ear isn't pierced though. Just give me a minute. I'll be back in like 20 minutes."
She
runs out the door.
Does it clip on? No.
I don't know how they're built.
I
would assume that
I'll put money on the fact that Shirku could pierce her ears.
She ran out. She comes back with like a bloody ear. She definitely went to like Spencer's or something, and they had the gun. They had she's like, "Oh, I heard there's an ad down at the whatever fucking stupid."
The chick who did the tattoo for us, the little gnome.
No, not her. She would have done it good. Tattoo shops do piercings well.
That's true. No, you're right. You're right.
You gotta watch out for the stupid guns that they use to try and pierce your ears. That's the
At least you didn't do the at-home Ice Cube version like I did twice.
Yeah, like I did twice. You didn't learn the first time. You're like, let's do it again. All right, cool. But yeah, she comes back. Her ear's like a little sore. She's rubbing her ears, like blood coming down. You're like, ooh, that's gonna be infected for sure. Did they even put an earring in? Oh no! And she but she comes in. She's like, oh. Okay, got it in. Just like blood trickling down. She's like, she looks so happy with herself with blood trickling down her messenger earring. Okay, fantastic.
Yvain makes a mental note to keep an eye on the ear.
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty certain that Finch can 5-point that, and it becomes a non-issue.
Yeah, just
true.
Go to a tattoo parlor, and then it heals perfectly.
Lay on hands, but muscular.
Exactly.
Do y'all know a good parlor to get this pierced?
Yeah, there's a gnome gal down here in the dock ward that we've used.
Oh, and while we're there,
Yes. Elaborate.
well, it seems like if we're getting ready to go on our first real official mission, it might be time for your symbol.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I'll
In a
play your
full
game.
Jughead moment, Beverly's like, he hasn't earned it! No, I'm just kidding.
He slayed a dragon with us. Yes, he has. And you've been able to
That's
turn
true.
around and lift her skirt like up to about her thigh, and on her left calf, you can see the insignia of the Aurora Concordant.
Notice that she lifted her skirt up over her thigh, and the tattoo is actually on her calf.
And not all the way up to. It covers. It's at the knee. It's at the knee. Okay. It clears the calf so you can see the entire calf. She didn't pull her skirt up to her ass. Jesus.
Tavern goes, woo! Some whistles. Just kidding. All right, cool. So is that the plan? Are we gonna go invest in another party member that you've met for all 2 days, and you're gonna tramp stamp them?
Yeah,
It's just gonna be
No,
like
he's not getting
we're trying
tramp
to mark
stamped.
everybody.
He's not getting tramp stamped.
not this one, you mean?
Well, okay, yeah, but the other two were that was a rehabilitative justice sort of thing. He's not with us for that reason.
There's gonna be like in 10 years, there's gonna be like an epidemic in Tal'Dorei where people are just marked with it, or it becomes like a huge fashion trend where everyone's just got like a tramp stamp.
It's the new tube.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So you, all right, you guys head out into the wild, dangerous streets of Emon, the dock ward, and you find your way to any pirate's favorite haunt for tattoos, and you find this gnomish tattoo woman who we're gonna seek the identity of. I believe her name is. Oh, that is the wrong city. No, there we go. No. Can't go some squire. Nope. I don't remember her name. That's too bad. Come on, I don't have it. Nero. Oh, I didn't write down her name. Fuck. Anyway, you go find. What was that?
I believe she had a sweet haircut, right?
Yeah, she had like a crazy
really
undercut.
cut. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her. I just forget her name. Yep. I'm gonna write it down now. Tramp stamp from. Well, she's getting a new name this session. But you guys will go to. Let's see what the internet decides her name is today. Or you know what? You guys go in. She's not there, and you see that there is like a younger gnome who is like pretty much the same haircut, like the folded over pink haircut. She's like much younger. She's like kind of a like biker chick, kind of hot gnome girl. And she's like, "Hey, how's it going? You guys looking for tattoos?"
That and an earring.
Yeah, sure. I can pierce you up. No problem. What do you want an eyebrow?
Just the ear. It's for a magical item.
Okay, all right, gotcha. All right, take a seat. You'll basically come to understand that the previous tattoo owner was tragically killed in a cart accident. Very unfortunate.
Oh, no.
Yep, she got hit. She'll tell you like it was a crazy. Like I'm not. The family isn't even upset, just more impressed than anything. Just at her durability. That she got hit by like wow. She's like pokes. She's like ah, and she's like still talking. She was like, yeah, she got hit by like 2 carriages from either side. She bounced out across the road into the water and then got ran over by a ship coming into port, and still lived. It was the shark that got her.
Oh, the shark.
Yeah, it's not usual to see sharks in the dock, but I guess she must have just pissed off the wild mother. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
How interesting.
This is quite a thing.
Do you know where? Do you know where they? Do you know where she was buried?
It was, oh yeah, why do you ask?
Oh, I just, I feel like I should give my condolences.
Oh, well, that's real kind of you, sir. Yeah, no, she'll give you the location of basically like a Mon graveyard.
Excellent. He's not going to steal the body.
I just like to keep track.
Yeah.
It's a
just in
professional
case.
courtesy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, her name is going to be Josa Diftal. Yeah, that sucks. We're not doing that. Baffle Block. I like that much better. Josa Baffle Block.
All right.
Tattoo on the dock for glint. All right, and then it does the pokey tattoo, so it's like it's pretty painful, but in the end, where do you want to get your tattoo, Glint? Where do you want to get your mark?
I think he would probably go for getting it on like the underside of the wrist.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yep, gets you there. Just don't worry, the bleeding will stop at some point.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but just as Grandma did it, like quick and dirty, just the way we like it. And yeah, and I don't even remember what she charged you, but we'll say she charges like for these 2 things, we'll call it like 2 gold. Small tattoo on the wrist and a piercing, yeah, we'll call it like 2. Sure, why not?
Okay, and adding in that earring of message, correct?
Correct.
Is that the one that has like 5 charges? Is that right?
It basically has the message cantrip in it, but it only connects with other users of the earring.
Okay. Is it a limited use or infinite?
I'm pretty sure it's infinite use.
Got it. Very cool.
Could be wrong. You're muted, Ember, if you're talking to someone.
Yeah, it's 5 charges with 1 die 4 plus 1 coming back at dawn.
Got it. Okay. Just want to be sure I had the right one. Because I feel like there was 2 different like message earring.
There are
items.
There are, yeah. There's the like Vox Machina one that's like anything within like a mile or something like that. So yeah, use the one in the book.
Got it.
All right. We'll say that this happened on your lunch break while you were copying your water breathing scroll.
Yeah. He has to go back to cramming for his wizard final.
Yeah, it's harder this time because now you're like, you're not even cramming for your wizard final. You're cramming for your, possibly if you don't get this right, you'll kill the whole party.
Yeah. No pressure.
No pressure. Sweet. All right. Is there anything else before we talk to the good mage later in the day? All right. You guys head over there around his table, and he's just and anytime you look over the table, the man's just like he's just pouring through the journal. He's pouring through his notes. He's like nonstop, just like very thoroughly is checking through all of his work and being certain of his findings, I suppose, or at least trying to be as familiar with it as possible. As this is just this, I think he said or would have said, this journal doesn't only function as a record, but also functions as a guide to through the Crystal Fen Caverns. So yeah, maybe he's just making sure he's familiar with the notes. But yeah, you guys can all certainly approach his table if you're ready to get going.
Yeah.
And he will look up and say, good afternoon. You all, I'd say it's probably good evening by now. 6 hours, you have lunch around. What do you guys think you eat breakfast? Like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock? early, a little later? You read it? Sorry.
I would say early, right? At least I show up early. I don't know about the rest of them.
I always figured it was around 8.
Yeah, pretty early. So we'll say, yeah, you're in like the afternoon. You're in like the early afternoon at this point. And he goes, good afternoon. You all seem bags packed and ready to go. Is it time?
It is time. Now, I made sure everyone was covered with the ability to breathe underwater. I could do it again for you.
That will not be necessary for myself. I have prepared the necessary spells for my own capability. Maybe not a water-breathing one. I have something a little less potent, sir. But it's good to know you're so well prepared. Lura Baisura knows how to pick her agents.
Well, I wasn't until this morning.
Don't know where to go from there. Anyway, closes his book. He goes, so shall we? Shall we begin this adventure?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, if we're going to begin the adventure, I believe I was actually speaking to this gnomish woman earlier, or halfling she might have been. But either way, I hear that it is good luck to have a toast to the Changebringer before starting a great adventure. I hear that is an important part of any new expedition. So, a round of drinks for me and my compatriots, please. He'll hand over the necessary copper, and each of you will. It'll be a shot probably, like a whatever shot, and he'll be like, so to this new adventure, may the Changebringer bless it, huh? All right. Yep. He'll shoot his. Everyone shoots theirs.
Tap, sip.
Okay. It sounds like everyone takes their shot to begin this voyage. And if indeed we do begin this voyage, we will the party will get inspiration.
Oh.
As indeed it seems that there might just be something to all of this Changebringer nonsense. But
I mean, nobody said anything was nonsense about the Changebringer.
Good, because that would be blasphemy. But yes, you may. Yeah. So with that, he starts packing up his researchers and research papers and his books, and he says, "All right, if you'd be so kind, let's get going." And he'll begin to walk out the tavern.
All right, where are we headed?
He will take out the book and he says, "Not in the dock board per se. The one that is listed in the journal is just beyond this district. It is in fact in the central district, towards the. You'll see it is a sewer break there that apparently Bonethro utilized. So right this way."
All right, stick with me for now.
Oh, all right. Certainly, sir. He looks kind of enthusiastic at the whole expeditionary situation where you're like, all right, back up. And you take the front as you guys walk through the streets of Emon. Yeah, and you make your way over to the central district, and he'll point out to you, he says, yes, this is the very, according to the papers, this is the very great that Bonethro utilized to begin her descent into the Crystal Fen Caverns. The actual entrance to the caverns shouldn't be too far from here.
All right, so we go down through the grate, and then eventually we'll come to the caverns.
Yes, yes, that's exactly. I've already taken the liberty to investigate the entrance. I haven't gone into the caverns themselves, but I've ensured that the entrance still remains, of course. You pop the lid, you head down into the sewers. Lo and behold, the gentleman was correct. However, it does seem that there does seem to be some brick is being sort of like it's only like a foot high, but it does seem that space is being covered. It's a large cavern mouth, but it does seem that the city maintenance is deciding to try and fill it in. He goes, "Oh, I checked this last month, but it seems that they're beginning to fill it in. But luckily enough, remains open.
Oh, it
Right.
looks like you're trying to close it off.
It looks like the city is beginning to close it up.
Okay.
It's only like a foot high at this point. They
Right.
probably left it to let the mortar dry, or they just didn't fully complete the job for whatever reason. But it's, you just step over it. It's fine. And you can begin your descent of Crystal Fin Caverns. Ooh la la. All right, let's get to it. Well. Oh man, did I save Jomen Tash? I did not, because I'm not smart. Alright, hang on a second. Bastard. Okay, so why is there no music? Come on, man. Perfect. All right, you descend into the caverns. It is quite dark. Karzi will immediately, haha, and spark up a light cantrip. You all sort of step down, sploosh, into the cavern, and you can begin to start to follow this gentleman. So you guys, this is very Atlantis. I think his name's Milo, the main character, where he has like the journal, and everybody's following this guy with his journal, and yeah, Buddy's got the journal out in front of him, and he occasionally pulls out a paper and sort of flips a page, and he's starting to sort of wind his way through the caverns, and he says, "Yeah, right this way," and he's starting to sound older and older every time I use his voice. He goes, "Right this way, right this way." There we go, I spoke normally. And he will begin to guide you guys through. And it is just, as far as you can tell, as of now, it's just a series of caverns that are partially flooded. And we're gonna see what happens now that you've entered into the Crystal Fin Caverns.
As we get
go ahead. Sorry.
As we get closer to the part with which you're not familiar, can you give me a little heads up?
Well, honestly, at this point, I haven't been here at all. I'm just utilizing the notes from the book at this point. So I'm simply going by Bon Ethros's guidance at this point. I have not actually seen the path.
Does the book tell you anything about what might be down here?
Oh, yes, in great detail, in fact. It speaks of both subterranean creatures and certain aberrant entities as well. I could expand on her specific adventures if you wish.
Are they marked by location?
Anything that she found, this was many long years ago. I imagine that the migratory patterns of these creatures may have changed, but a couple here and there. Let's see. The first thing that she ran into was rolling random encounters for someone who died a couple hundred years ago. It says, well, the first thing that she ran into was what she would refer to as a violent fungus. Apparently, they are very, very slow, not terribly difficult to deal with, but can be the bane of inexperienced adventurers, unlike yourselves. But apparently, they have tentacles, and they can really hurt you if you get too close.
Tentacle fungus.
Yes, tentacle fungus. They look like, as I believe it's described here in the book, they look like large purple seeds.
Has Glenn ever heard of this?
Make a nature check. You will have an advantage, as a lot of very specific information is given by the journal.
You said disadvantage or regular?
No, advantage.
Oh, okay, got it. 11 plus 5 is 16.
Yeah, you've heard of these. They are carnivorous fungi that grow in subterranean layers. Perhaps You are a dwarf, after all, so probably would have heard of these. They're not terribly uncommon, and they're a little dangerous. But the trick is just to keep a little distance away from them. But they are a purplish mushroom that uses root-like feelers growing from its base to creep around cavern floors, and then uses 4 protruding stalks to attach to its central mass to lash out at prey, rot their flesh at the slightest touch, and then drag them in to be consumed. It's sort of like a really aggressive Venus flytrap situation.
Yeah, so Evie's taking notes. What was this thing called, you said?
A violent fungus.
Oh, God.
Apparently, whoever named them they were just apparently very angry about the fungus and didn't have a whole lot of time to think up detailed.
Violent fucking fungus. Later redacted the middle part.
Well, that fungus is certainly violent.
I got an idea of what we should call it.
It woke up today and chose violence.
Also, if you give me a moment, Glint's going to flip open the flap, the bag of holding. All right, gentlemen, you may exit single file, and you just see these horrible little skeletons with just terribly twisted joints unfolding themselves out of the hole and crawling out.
And he's like, holy shit. I mean, you said it, but to see it is holy shit.
And as they come out, Yvain looks at them and goes, Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Bruce.
Bruce is my favorite.
I'm partial to Bruce myself.
They all just sort of look at you, Glint, as if to say, like, is this it? Is our names? Is this it?
It certainly is. The people have spoken. Stick close. Keep your eyes open to danger. Not that you have eyes. Do not engage until I give command.
And we'll see how well that goes for you.
And I'm going to very pointedly say to the page elf, all right, listen up. Read faster and move slower. We don't want to walk into anything we're not ready for.
All right, fair enough. And he'll just start reading you information off of it. It's a lot. It's very extensive, and you might find yourself regretting the question very quickly. He's an academic. He just starts going on. He goes, and of course I authenticated this with the Lyceum, but it was rather interesting that she decided to take right rather than left, is often the method for finding our way through mazes. They say to stick to the left hand on the wall, but again, it's strange. There's no mazes down here, but regardless.
I don't need your whole life story. I just need you to not tell us that we're already in the violent fungus part when we're already in the violent fungus part.
Oh, okay. Very well. I will be sure to give you as much forewarning as possible. Beverly's got a torch out, her shield on her back. She's got her she's got her sword away. She's got her shield on her side. She's got a torch out. She's super into this moment. She's like, let's push the bench. She's having a great time. Yep, Fenn's just sort of wandering through. He kind of looks up at you. He's kind of whining as he does like the paw thing with the water. He's just like, and he'll go quiet with the shh. And you guys will continue on. So I guess I'll be rolling 2 dice to see what Von Ethro encountered and what you will encounter. There's nothing encountered here by Von Ethro, and true enough, nothing does become a hindrance to you all.
All right, I don't have a lot of hope for this, but can I do a primeval awareness?
You sense within 5 miles, you sense no humanoid, that's not true. Within 5 miles. I would say near the end of your range, you sense about
level, obviously.
Yeah. Nothing in your there are like little spots of humanoids here and there around your 5-mile radius, but nothing on your path, nothing tremendously close. Even more subterranean beneath you, even more extended beyond you. So like there are humanoids down here, not many. Certainly not as much as above, as you're once again buffeted by the hundreds of Emon individuals. But they're around, but not in your immediate vicinity. Can I say? Who's that?
I was going to ask if I could cast Divine Sense.
Sure. Divine Sense goes off. You sense 4 undead. Turn around and see the skeletons, and you go, "Oh, right."
It's you.
It's you guys, and they sort of like.
Wave.
Yeah, they just wave at you, and you proceed. Ooh, speaking of which, let me put them in here. Yeah, I don't have kobold skeletons, but I'll be damned if you don't have. Look at your little army. Good job, guys. Yeah, but you will. Zarval should be at the front. That's not bad. He's the ranger guy. I thought about Karzi. How could I have been so rude? You probably have to tell Karzi to quiet down a couple times. Because this is rather exciting. Violent fungus could be named a little better, I think. But it's still rather interesting. He's having a great time. Proper adventuring. Out, down in the sewers under Emon. Finding.
I love you, but we don't want to announce our presence.
Why not? Aren't we adventurers? Aren't we more powerful than anything?
But we don't do. No, we don't do that.
I told you to stop inviting people.
And he'll debate with you, Yvain. He will quiet down, but he will sort of be like, I don't know. I just think isn't it all the stories talk about running in and slashing and getting the jump on people and such?
Oh, good, listen, that's how you die. It's a great story, but it's not good for, living.
In my experience, adventuring as a day-to-day process involves approximately 60 to 90 seconds of violence a day, and then about another 8 hours of preparation and walking around.
Actually, that's a really good way. It's that,
No, you're trying to pull the wool over my eyes.
No, it's an astounding amount of looking at things and being anxious.
Yeah, no, the anxiety. It's so much anxiety. Yeah,
Karzi is absolutely devastated.
Yeah, both of you two make a persuasion check. He doesn't move.
Not great. I think I rolled a 10 total. Yeah, 10.
I rolled an 11.
10 and 11.
I'm not my charisma's not great.
He looks between the two of you because, what? No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. At this point, at the front of the line, Jomen says to you, Zarval, he says, "Oh, just up around this bend, if my research is correct, I believe she encountered I think she noted down 10 to 15 bats. Yes."
Just particularly large bats, or just bats?
No, just bats.
I feel like we're having a
Hold on.
Because yes, they were hanging from the ceiling, and they flew down, and then flew away. Yes.
Fair enough. Too much information's better than not enough. Let's go.
I mean, I could. You told me to tell you before the danger arose.
Keep it up. I'd rather hear than not hear.
Oh, okay, very well. Well then, we shall continue, won't we? She noted that she saw a rather cute mouse around the bend. Just continue.
Of all the days to not be able to speak with animals.
But Zarval, you're doing revised, right? Revised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your primeval awareness allows you to, I believe. You can interact with beasts through primeval awareness.
I can, yeah. It's not on the same level as like speak with.
No.
But I can get like a general sense and convey like a general feeling.
Yeah, you can befriend them and get information from them, exchange information. Exactly. And he'll continue. He'll say, "Oh, and around this bend, there's some luminescent fungi. I hope that's still here." And lo and behold, there is. You come around the corner, And according to the journal, seemingly correct, there's immediately a swath of blue bioluminescent fungi that seems to ignite as you all come around the corner. You guys are like, well, there isn't any, and then suddenly it sort of permeates to life as you enter a certain proximity. You guys, there we go.
I'll point to kind of the rock just generally around us and look at Glint and be like, Dwarf, is any of this worth anything?
I'll gladly take a look around and investigate. Take a look at the rocks, see what's going on, if there's any signs of architecture, if it's naturally formed, if any of it is worthwhile material.
Make me a, let's call it an investigation check. Do you have any tool proficiencies that would help with like mining?
Yeah, I have masons, and I also have the jewelers.
Masons will do. Have advantage.
Alrighty. It's a natural 20. Let me double check. That is a total of 28.
That will give you a sizable amount of information. So first and foremost, you're starting to get more and more of a sense that Jomen isn't full of shit, that his book is authentic for many reasons. The first of which is that as you walk through these halls, you can see it would take a dwarf or a very skilled miner to see these things, but you see small crevices in the walls where gemstones probably used to be, or veins of ore used to reside. And you also see evidence of abandoned mining shafts, but clearly the material was taken down and moved somewhere else. The reason why this authenticates Jorman's journal in your eyes is because you looked through his research papers, and at one point he went through city records and authenticated that there was a mining operation some ways on. The notes were finicky about what sort of materials they were excavating at the time, as it is a very, very, very old record, but the mine was abandoned due to dangerous creatures. And this was a long time ago. This was like maybe this was like 100 plus years ago.
Okay. And you said this was a mine. Are there any veins of useful metal in the area?
So the answer to that would be no, but for where you are, but you are, as Berman said, you guys are looking for a mine shaft that should help lead you onward. And that mine shaft was abandoned, which would signify that there should be remnants of what they were mining. So chances are you are going to run into valuable minerals and such on the journey ahead.
Understood. So I don't see anything valuable per se here beyond information. But chances are this is it has all the signs of being an actual mining tunnel, which one points to our good scholar friend here being on the right track and having correct information on hand. But it also indicates that chances are, since this mine was abandoned, not cleaned out, but abandoned due to danger, that we might well find some valuable veins further in that can still be worked on.
And that we should keep our heads about us, because there's potentially beasties or such.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, for the record, I don't see any goblins or anything of that sort in the immediate vicinity.
Oh, no, there's no accounts here at all of any sort of civilized humanoid-like folk in Von Ethro's scribblings. Nothing, certainly not along the way towards the mine which she found. But it is worth saying, and at this point, as he's beginning to talk, he's looking at his book. Let me see. Suddenly from the ceiling, Zarvolg, something drops on top of you and wraps itself around your body. You are blinded and you're suddenly unable to breathe in this moment as it layers around you like a thick, like a plastic almost. And you also feel a painful bite from whatever this is. You will take.
Okay, before we do that, just as a reminder, I have the heavy crossbow of warning.
Oh, you do you? Then never mind. In this moment, you feel your crossbow sort of rattle on your back, and you kind of like. I'll tell you what. Make me an active perception check to see if you're able to spot the danger before it arrives.
Okay. 22.
22. You look up just in time to see what looks like a sort of praying mantis-like creature attached to the ceiling, and then it flips around and you see orange eyes in the dark. I'm going to reroll the attack roll. You'll roll me an initiative, actually. Just use our roll.
Yep.
See if you react before it does.
Oh, well, I get the advantage on that, but I only had to roll once because I got a nat 20. 26.
As it flips around and begins to descend upon you, you see this like flying praying mantis entity with this like almost goblin-like face with like orange blank eyes and a long spine tail, and it starts coming down at you. What do you do? Nobody else sees this, only you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna shoot it.
You immediately like kick it off of your back and throw it around and fire up. Let's go for it.
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be some fucking like cowboy shit. You're just gonna like shoot into the dark randomly, and everyone's gonna be like, "What?" And then something will fall down.
20. Well, I'm sorry, I have advantage, but yeah, 22.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
That's going to be only 5.
Only 5 damage. Okay, it's 5 damage.
Do I get another attack? Do I get all my first round attacks?
Yeah, your full round. Yeah, go for it.
All right, so that's a 26 to hit.
Yep.
9 more damage.
9 more damage. Okay. Got anything else for me?
Yep, one more.
All right.
27 to hit.
Yep.
And 11 more damage.
All right. Is that it? Will that do the job?
That's it. Yep.
You just fire into the darkness. Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And then, so I'm not going to give it the nat 20 that I just rolled because I already had rolled the dice and it hits. So I will simply say it hits. In fairness, but in that moment, you like fire 3 shots. Everyone's like, "What is Zarval doing?" And then suddenly, this black, fleshy thing, like a praying mantis again, like a really large one, wraps itself around Zarval's head. Zarval, you are blinded. You're like, again, it's wrapped around your head, so your lower body is still functional. You're not restrained or grappled, but it's wrapped around your head. You cannot breathe. You are blinded, and you are going to take 9 points of piercing damage from the bite as it chomps into your head. And then it is going to use its multi-attack to swing its tail down and get you. It swings its tail down. Its spines come in for 15 to hit.
Nope, that's a miss.
Scrapes across your armor to no avail. And you all see Zarvalk at the front of the line going, waving his arms around. Would anyone like to do anything?
I'd like to maybe cast a frostbite. Can I?
Yeah, shit, go for it.
I see to cast something at his head.
Good heavens.
Con 16.
That is going to be a natural 18 to save.
So that saves.
How big is this creature?
It is a medium-sized creature, but it is, again, folded its entire body, minus the tail, around Zarvolk's head.
I suppose I'll try and firebolt it.
Go for it. attack roll.
So 16 on the die, and then double checking, I have +8 to hit, so 24.
That will hit. Go ahead with damage.
That is 13 points of fire.
All right, it is going to take 6 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
And you will also take 6 points of damage, Zarvolg, as the flame hits the creature. Some of it sort of transfers into you, and you feel a scathing burn across the other side of your face.
Ow!
Yeah, it
Totally.
burns, and Zarvolg reacts, and you hear like from underneath the thing.
Glenn's suddenly very glad that he told his skeleton to not just shoot at a moment's notice.
Hair trigger? Hair trigger? Yes, hair trigger. I think our newest armed squire drops her torch. There's still fire, like, you know, you can pick it up later. But draws her sword and she's like, okay, maybe not. She's like, what? More like looking to Finch, like, what do I do? And Finch is like, okay, well, let's make this a learnable moment. There's enough people in the party that I think that they can handle it. So what do you think? It's attached to Zarvolg's head. Do you think you should swing your sword at Zarvolg's head? Just, probably not. He goes, see, that's probably a good instinct. And Finch is just off to the side, just like having like an experienced, teachable moment with Beverly. Does anybody else want to do it? Oh, Karzi is definitely a hair trigger kind of guy. He's like, oh boy, it was a lie. It was a lie, I say. And he is going to fire his most powerful spell at your head.
Oh,
I just haven't chosen which one that is yet.
That's fair.
do I know what? Well, you don't know what spell it is yet, so I can't know what spell it is yet. But
I don't know what spell it is.
whenever you figure it out, would Glint be able to know what spell he's going for?
Like as it's being cast?
Yeah.
I'll allow you to spend your reaction to make an Arcana check if you wish, to try and interpret his verbal and somatic components before they're let off.
Follow up. Does Glint notice that the firebolt did burn Zarvolg?
You're a wizard. You are making a lot of calculations. I do allow a free mental check as part of it. So make me a reaction Arcana check, and then make me a for free insight check.
Yeah, I'm fine not making the Arcana, like just not knowing what he's going to go for. The main thing is saying, do I notice that this is harming the person the thing is wrapped around?
Make an insight check.
Insight. All right, that is.
Or a medicine check. I'll allow you to do it.
Okay, medicine's better. That'll be a 19 total.
19, yeah. By the way Zarvolg screamed in, like, it's muffled, but the way that Zarvolg, shall we say, exclaimed in a angered and pained manner after your fire made contact with the creature, you expect there is some damage transferring situation going on here.
Okay, so if I see Kazi going for like a big spell, Glint's going to counterspell it.
Oh, Zombie, don't see it. Go ahead and roll me a intelligence check.
All right.
Oh, this is my moment.
16 total.
It fizzles out. I go, what the hell?
I don't know what you were going for, but whenever you see how I shot the fire at the thing.
Why are you talking to me right now? It's battle! Battle,
you're going to burn our companion to a crisp, my good fellow.
Nonsense, you did it just fine. So shall I. But anyway, that's his turn. Anybody else? I think you may went. Ember, do you have anything you'd like to contribute?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to use shape water and
right.
surround the face of this thing in 5 feet of water.
All right, fair enough. A cube of water circulates around the top of the head. Zarvolg, you don't experience this as it's fully airtight around your head. You hear a sloshing sound outside of the muffling, but you don't know anything more. Zarvolg goes, or Ben goes, and he like jumps at
Sure.
and starts biting. So give me a full round of attacks for Finn, who is just a dog.
Oh,
He's trying to help out his master. Don't worry, I'll help you, Dad. He's like stabbing you to death. I'll help you.
He's goring me in the face.
Yeah, he's goring your face.
Can't believe
16.
this Zarvog loses the other ear.
Yes, your dog eats your ear. 16 will hit. Go ahead and roll.
Okay. That's going to be 10 damage.
All right, 10 damage. That's going to be 5 to the creature, 5 to you, Zarvog.
Wait, hang on. That might not be right. It might be more than that. I might roll the wrong die. Hold on.
All right.
Feels like that's not enough for a gore. Oh, no, it certainly wasn't. Oh, there we go. It's 20 total damage.
All right, 20. So that'll be 10 to you, Zarvog, 10 to the creature.
All right.
Just like
one more
has it
attack.
by the wing, and it's just
A bite. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, that's 24 to hit.
that will certainly hit. Roll me some damage.
That one is 8.
8. You will take 4. The creature will take 4. I need you to make a strength. I'm gonna make you make the strength saving throw, Zarvog, because your dog is pouncing on the creature, but it's you who's holding the two of you up.
Sure.
That was how much damage? That was 8 damage, you said?
Yeah, the last one, yeah. It was 8
Okay,
total,
cool.
so I took 4.
Correct. Cool.
11 was my strength saving throw.
I think Fen knocks the two of you over, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Zarvog completely blinded. You feel Fen's teeth, or maybe like the Minotaur horns, like pierce through the cloaker or this creature's wing, and you're like, "Yeah, fucking dog!" You're like trying to tell it command to stop, and then it jumps on you, like paws on your shoulders, and you feel its mob like brace under your head. You're like, "Ah, fuck!" And you get knocked into the water. As Fen's like, "Ah." And he's like just trying to kill this thing that's on your head. I think Jorman's like, steady now, hold still, Zarvog, hold still. And he's gonna he's like, I literally have nothing for this one, I'm afraid. I literally have nothing. I don't want to hurt your friend. So I will forego my turn. Yes, DM, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, everyone. Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. There's no need to give me too much attention. Zarvog's like rolling around, trying to fight his own dog. And Beverly's like, "Oh, are you sure, Finch?" She's like, "Yeah, no, he'll be fine. But like, let's focus on the moment." And keep talking. Karzadrawn's like, "Nonsense! I've got him!" Is like trying to get around Flint. Don't worry, I'll save you. And that'll bring us back around, I think, to the creature's turns. I think that's everybody who wants to or has done anything.
Yeah,
The creature actually is going to
I'm first before the creature, I think.
That's right. You are. Go for it.
All right, so can I attempt to just pull it off?
You certainly can. Go ahead and make me. This is going to be an athletics check.
Okay. Ooh, 22.
22. You get your hand, you like push your dog off of you. It's like, and then you shove your hand into the thing, like pull it off, and it sort of like flutters back into the air. And you're like, and like pull some air in. You guys like, he like sits up and looks at you all, and you see like red 6-degree burn mark, and like bite marks, and like a scab, like a gash on his head from the thing, and they're looking at all of you like, I mean, that's up to you, Zarvog, how you want to look at that. But
That's all
unless
fine.
you maybe all have a moment of like, oh shit, you see the results of your heroism.
Sorry
but the
about
creature-
that.
Sorry. Karzadrawn's like, see, I could have helped him. I could have done better. I know it. Or maybe not. I don't know. And it'll bring us to. He's just excited. He's so in the moment. But in this moment, the creature is going to actually, as it flaps its wings, you see that the wings almost seem to multiply, and then you see sort of appearing from behind it. You see another, like 1, 2, 3 more of the creature as it flies away. Zarborg, you could take a disadvantage melee attack if you wish. Or you're holding your crossbow, so you can try and bash it with your crossbow if you want.
Oh yeah.
Fen can as well.
That's a 20. Oh, disadvantage. I'm sorry. 21 a disadvantage for me.
Hang on a second. $21. That'll hit. You swing your crossbow upward at one of the creatures, and it sort of fades away like a phantasm, an illusion. Go ahead and make an attack for Fen.
Yep. Fen got a 12, actually.
A 12 will not hit. He sort of jumps into the air to snap and bite, but the creatures sort of flutter away, and he does not beat the AC. Would anyone here be in melee range of Zarborg? Everyone's been kind of like at range casting at him. Would anyone be in melee? No? With that, the remaining 3 variations of that creature sort of flutter into the darkness and disappear into the stalagmites across the roof. And Jomen will look down at you, Zarborg, and be like, Zarborg, you saved my life! Thank you!
Was that in your notes?
No, it was not. I swear, it really was not. And he'll like flip through a couple pages and be like, "No, I promise you, that was not listed."
Read faster.
Okay, all right. She says she takes her next steps, and he starts just going into the very almost word for word reading the contents of the book. You see that he stops a number of times. It seems like he's like actively translating. But yeah, you'll continue and you can get up and continue your journey.
Right.
While this is going on, Yvain's going to use the earring to message Ember and say, "Can you do that thing you do sometimes before we take a rest? Because he looks, a little chewed upon."
Chewed upon.
Sure.
Thank you, friend.
He will say, "These make no sense for where we are." Oh my god. Sorry, guys. My random encounters are not fitting my lore. He will say, "Oh, yes, this is what's bringing up. This isn't actually detailed in Von Ethro's journal, but I did some extensive research into the Crystal Fen Caverns and the flora and fauna that you might encounter in here. And it is worth noting that I did talk to a rather astute dwarf at the Alabaster Lyceum who was quite an expert on the adventures of Vox Machina, and apparently they did a brief stint in the Crystal Fen Caverns where they encountered a creature known as an Umber Hulk. So keep your eyes peeled. One of those might be around."
The flappy beast that
Yes.
wasn't a bat or a bird. Would Glenn have any idea what that might have been?
Make me a nature check, if you will.
All right. Not great. That is a +5. That's a 13 total.
A 13. With a 13, I don't think I'm gonna give it to you. I'm sorry to
that's
say.
totally
It's,
fine.
you haven't quite heard of such a creature before.
Actually, did we not experience Umber Hulks in this campaign one time?
No, not Umber Hulks.
Okay.
It was I don't know how to say it, but an aberration you I'll send it to you.
Yugoloth?
Yeah, it looks no, not a Yugoloth. I'll find it.
Was this a subterranean creature?
Yeah, we found it on the way to the tiefling shitheads.
Yeah.
We didn't actually engage with it, but it was there. You told us.
Oh, maybe. I don't remember the things you don't kill, because I don't get to use them. There's very few of them, so maybe there was. But you could continue your journeys for a little while longer. At this point in the journey, something most interesting is going to happen. To be clear, you guys have been traveling through the various caves for like 2 hours now. You've been traveling, following Jomen Tash deeper and deeper into the earth. The water seems to continuously flow down. At this point, sorry, give me half a moment. I'm gonna just find what I'm looking for. I think at this before this happens, though, Dorman is going to say, I would like to let everyone know that it was around this point that I believe, at least in my interpretation of events, I have spoken to other scholars about their and doctors, as they're called, about different interpretations of the information that I have now. But I do believe that this is around the point where Von Ethro began to have a slip of insanity. Indeed. So be aware. She began to describe hearing voices in the dark, voices calling out to her in the dark. You guys continue for a little more, and not 10 minutes later, does the entire party experience hearing something in the dark. I need the whole party to make wisdom saving throws.
Before I roll this, can I roll my Cosmic Omen? I haven't done that for today.
You can roll your Cosmic Omen. Yeah.
It's even. So, wheel.
Wheel? Okay, cool.
All right, and I use my inspiration.
Okay. What do I have to roll for?
And it's just a wisdom save, you said?
Yep.
Okay. 16.
Okay, 16. Ember?
18.
Very good. Zarble?
14.
16 for me.
For you. So you alone, Zarble,
Yeah.
are going to hear something in your mind.
All right.
You hear the voice of a woman begin to fill your mind. And it says, I sense someone. Are you truly here too? Please, whoever you are, I'm lost. I'm alone. I'm alone in the dark. Can you hear me? You hear this voice permeate in your mind. Jorman sort of has a reaction about the exact same time that you experience this voice.
Yeah, so I'll say to him, did you hear that?
Yeah, yes, I did. Someone was calling for help in the dark? A woman?
So I will again do a primeval awareness to try and see if I can suss out the source of that voice.
I'm gonna want you to make me a survival check. I will give you advantage because humanoids are your favorite enemy, but I want you to make a survival check on top of it, just to interpret the information you use.
Yep. Okay. So you want me to do a survival with advantage?
Yes, please.
21.
21. You do sense some ways off and definitely down low. You sense maybe 10 or so. I'm not going to give you specific numbers. just because, I don't know. But about 10 humanoids ping off for you, but weirdly like leveled. Like so. Maybe in like groups of twos, maybe even threes, and just like sort of on top of one another, in a direction that's quite a ways off and down. But with your survival skills, like you're not a subterranean individual, but you think it's quite possible that if you were to follow the right tunnels, you could find your way there rather quickly.
Yep.
But that's the closest amount of humanoids within your vicinity.
And just, I mean, as a little bit of a reminder, he did spend a lot of time in mines.
You did.
Anyway.
Okay. With your excellent survival skills, I would say these people are stacked. The way they're stacked, it reminds you of mine bridges.
Oh,
You go from
all right.
one tunnel to like a leveled mine. Like in
Sure.
leveled mines, they'll establish bridges between different tunnels. It reminds you of that.
Okay. So I will go ahead and relay to the group that I both heard a woman's voice asking if there was someone else present, and that I'll explain to them the idea of like the mine bridges. And then I sense humanoids on those bridges.
And so the voice you heard was coming from the bridges.
I couldn't really tell you that. It was, I don't know. I just heard it.
I heard it as well. To be clear, I heard it as well.
You didn't hear that?
No.
No.
Everyone from Beverly to Karzi all shakes their heads. Seems to have just been you, Zarbolg, and Jomen.
Well, then listen closer.
Karzi goes, "Oh, I want to hear it. Come on, come on, you bastard!" He'll try and listen as hard as he can, but to no avail. The voice says, "Please, can you hear me? I can sense you within my mind, within your mind. I need help."
Are you still not hearing that? She says it's in my head.
It's likely some sort of telepathic message or sent via the arcane.
She's requesting help.
Do they know where they are?
I don't know where she is. I can get us to the bridges.
Well, I figure that's a good start. Just we'll need to be on the eye for whatever that thing was. That
Foreman will sort of give you a nudge. Zarbolg's like, try and communicate. Try, give it a shot.
All right. Where are you? Who are you?
Oh, finally! I've been seeking for so long. I don't think I'm too far from where you are. I only have so much power to extend. I could guide you to me if you would allow. Please.
All right, take us there.
Okay.
And I'll tell the group
She's going to guide us.
Yes. And she'll start giving instructions. She'll say, I feel generally where you are. Continue straight, and then there will be a divide in the caves. Go right, and then through another right. Continue downward. And she'll give those instructions, and as the group begins to follow Zarbolg and Jomen, who's also carrying this, he goes, I don't know, the instruction she's giving isn't quite the same. Similar, I suspect, but different to what the book has listed. But we are looking for a mine. You said that this place reminded you of mine bridges?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, is the voice leading me in the same direction as where I thought the mine bridges were?
You think so? Yeah. Well, I mean, we could always follow the voice and get a little turned around. Do you think you could find our way back to this point if we wanted to pick up Bonethro's trail?
Oh, I can definitely bring us back here, yeah.
Then, lead on, I suppose. I certainly think it's an interesting portion of the adventure. Causey's like, I completely agree.
What about everyone else? Follow the book or follow the voice?
I admit a great deal of curiosity about just who is calling for us in the dark, whether it's an intentional cry for aid or a horrible trap devised by a terrible aberrant mind reaching from beyond the plains. But either way, I do kind of want to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm nervous that I'm not. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Incredible. You guys will follow, and you will follow for a little while through a series of like even for you, Zarbal, you're a very skilled survivalist and a guide, and the voice guides you through a series of twisting caves that'd be difficult for anyone to keep track of, who isn't of your discipline. And you follow, and you can start to get that feeling of like it seems very intentional, the directions, but you can't help but feel like going in the right direction until you do indeed see a little firelight ahead, sort of at the end of the tunnel. She goes, "Good, you're almost there. They're at the bottom of the mine. Please hurry. There's creatures. I think they're going to come for me. They're going to come for me soon."
All right, I will again turn to the group.
All right, she says we're almost there. It looks like it's that.
They can see the firelight, right?
All of you can definitely see a glimmer of bright torchlight from ahead.
It looks like it might be that light up ahead. She says there's something coming for her soon. You want me to run ahead alone, or?
No.
We can make haste, I imagine.
We can all hustle, but let's stay together.
Okay. I will end the screen share prematurely. Just don't reveal anything. Oh, okay. Cool. Right. Okay, I will. Sorry, I had my camera pointed at an inopportune angle for myself. Just gonna make some adjustments.
This is fun. I rarely get an opportunity to make a bad character to make a character decision that I disagree with.
Yeah. Is this a tactically sound move? Absolutely not, but I want to see where this goes. And it makes sense for Zarval, given his history that you've outlined.
And the fact that Yvain keeps saying danger and you guys keep just ignoring her.
I mean, this is a dangerous expedition. I mean, so do I have a marching order?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's me and the page elf in front, right? And Fen.
That's right, the page elf. I like it. Who would be behind?
Finch would take second line. That's
Finch and Beverly on the second line.
I'm gonna have to go camera dark and mic off for a minute, but I'm here.
Cool. Who else?
Yvain will fall in behind them.
I'll follow Yvain.
All right. Follow behind Yvain.
Along with the precious Skelly boys.
That's true. Precious Skelly boys. What about you, Ember?
Take up the rear.
Take the rear. Small army is there.
Yeah, I'd probably have my familiar out as well, even if it's not going to be immediately useful for the current encounter.
What does that look like?
The owl?
Right. The undead owl. Sweet. I'll tell you what, I'll do the same thing that I do with Happy. What's its name?
I had a name lined up for it, and then I forgot it.
Cornelius.
I'll go with it. Yeah.
I just kidding. I'm not. Just kidding. Well, let me know if you remember your name.
I think the name was Philistides.
Cool.
I like that.
I have no fucking clue how to spell that. I did it as it sounds. Feel free to message me
Yeah.
if you've got the proper spelling. I apologize.
It's
I am not Greek.
yeah, I'll message it to you. There's a
Sweet,
C.
okay,
There's a C where you don't expect it, but beyond that, it's pretty phonetic.
Oh, great. Thanks, English. I mean, Greek, kind of.
All right, sorry, I'm
Um,
here.
No worries, mate. I'll tell you what, actually, it is a little early, but we are getting Finch back in about 10 minutes.
We could take a break until.
So why don't we take our break a little early? How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Cool.
sounds
We'll be back.
Sounds good.
All right. So you guys arrive in the mines. Your little freaking army shows up,
We do.
ready to do justice unto, well, whatever needs justice undoing unto. So you guys arrive in a mine shaft. Zarvog, it seems your instincts were right. You seem to be in this place that holds many torches, support beams. But this certainly wouldn't be the first time you've ever seen a mine shaft yourself. And you guys would definitely recognize that you're on the top level of a mine that sort of dips downward. All the torches are lit, or sorry, lanterns are lit, which would suggest that there are living creatures around here, probably a number of them. What do you do?
There was no one in the first chamber at the level that we were at.
Make me a perception check.
$21.
21. You hear skittering. You hear like sounds coming from lower in the mine shaft, but as you look around the corners and you listen, maybe when you span a primeval awareness out, you don't find any familiar humanoids at your level, but there are, again, about a dozen almost directly beneath you.
All right. I relate that to the party.
Staggered, of course, of different levels. Yeah. Jomen Tash says, "Yes, this is it. This is the mine that was spoken of in the book. It led us here regardless. It makes sense. There's multiple mine roads and caverns. We took a route that well, Nethros didn't take, but exceptional. I can't wait to look around here. The book tells us that there is some rather unique mineral deposits here in the mine that were being excavated. I'm very interested to see what remains, if anything."
Zarval kind of gives locks eyes with Karzi for a minute and then switches his gaze to Beverly and says, "Are we ready to proceed?"
Beverly's like, again, she's getting her confidence, she's getting her stride. She kind of finds herself kind of looking to Finch for the answer, and then kind of stops herself halfway. And she goes, yeah, we should go, but probably be careful and quiet about it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I have heavy armor, so probably shouldn't be me, but I'm okay doing it too, if that's what you want me to do.
Is there directly in front of us, is there a like bridge-like structure that goes to another cavern?
Yeah, everything seems to be fairly, like, what you're seeing is fairly accurate to the actual setting. So you do see that the bridges do have a number of
You're not
tracks.
sharing with us right now.
Oh, God damn it. I always goddamn forget to do this. Here we are. So, yeah, you look here, you see that there is a four-way bridge that goes into multiple caverns. Use our roll with your 20. Suspect that Von Ethero's journal would have probably led through maybe the right, maybe the left caverns, just connected at different points throughout the caverns. You suspect that if you were to continue forward and like into others, you could probably find the caverns circulate down to lower levels, perhaps. But yeah, that's what you see. There's no obvious way down. I suspect, for this being a mine, you probably have to go onward into maybe the adjacent or the left tunnel to sort of circle down to the next level.
Yeah.
Or you could, of course, be super cool adventurers and just hop down and feel confident.
We're not that cool. All right.
Causey says, "Speak for yourself, baby."
I'm gonna scout ahead a little bit. Stay here.
Ooh, scouting ahead. I'm gonna remember that. All right, maybe a stealth check as you scout ahead. You want to bring your steadfast hound with
Finley. Yeah, let's bring Finley. Let me see.
Bentley. I've never heard this name
That's
before.
his full name.
Bentley H.G. Howard.
Yes. What's his? Oh, yeah. All right. I got a 17, I believe, and Fen got a 19.
Okay. Absolutely. Just give me half a moment. Come on. Come on. Damn it. All right. Anyway. What were those totals again? Sorry?
I got a 17 and Fen got a 19.
Yeah, you guys are good. Enter into a fair amount of stealth. Where are you going?
Hang on. I rolled the wrong one. Nope. Still 17. Still good. To the left.
To the left. Yeah, there is a little ledge there, so you can certainly do that. You and Fen will sort of go into the dark. You want to just make your way all the way to the other track?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll make my way, kind of, peeking around corners until I see something of note.
All right, peeking around corners, make me a perception check.
$22.
22. You don't find anything of note on this level. You might see. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, so you look around and you end up hearing skittering and sounds down below. In fact, quite familiarly in a language, in a voice that you have heard, not the exact same voice before, but similar to a voice you heard rather earlier in the week. And you look down and you find scattered along the bridges is none other than a number of kobolds that are sort of, and they sort of pointing in different directions, and they're nodding to each other and sort of skittering here and there with a general amount of intention. They look like they're looking for something.
Oh, okay.
You hear within your head, please hurry.
And I'll just think back.
We're on our way.
Thank you.
All right. And I will. Can I see our group from where I am? Can I signal to them, or do I need to go back?
No, you can signal to them.
All right. Yeah, I'll signal to them to come along. Come along.
And the group can follow along, sure, if that's what you all want to do. There's a whole shit ton of you, so I'm just going to say you do it, and we'll deal with your minis later. But yeah, you all sort of make your way along the ridge. Are you following Zarvolg stealthily, whole party? Okay. Oh boy, here comes the fun. I'd like the whole group, including all of your... Thanks a lot. Zarvolg, moving everybody 10 feet. Let's everybody go ahead and roll stealth checks. I need everybody, including summons, familiars. Maybe not familiars, it's fine. We're not worried about familiars. But summons, pets, friends, family, distant cousins, and roommates all need to roll stealth checks.
Friends, Romans, countrymen.
Yep, countrymen and all. In fact, all of Emon needs to roll a stealth check. I have decided as the DM. So hold fast while I roll more than 100,000 stealth checks. Anyway, that was a joke. I will not be doing that. Thank you very much. Ooh, she has disadvantage actually. Oh, she's like stealth. Oh, okay, I'll try. And she's like, damn it, shit, damn it. I mean, I shouldn't swear.
Making herself even louder. Yeah.
I know she's trying not to like curse,
All right,
but it's like she rolled a 2. She's not doing good.
I have
she's like, I'm
glints
trying.
in
I'm
all
so
of the-
sorry. What did you say, Glenn?
I have glints in all the skeletons, all of whom are at disadvantage, I might add.
Yep, they're all like clickety clacking along. So this is great. Zarbog, you're like,
it's a 6, a 7, a 14, an 11, and then on a natural 1 for glints, a 3.
so Zarbog, you're like, and then the whole crew just.
People are tripping over Glint.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry about that. Adventure. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Glint like reaches up for the earring and taps it, and then without casting message, is this thing on?
Hello. Hello. Anyone? And everyone's like getting interference because they're all standing right next to Glint. Like, come on, the whole group's like, So use our like Fenn's like, and in a truly comical moment, like the some dozen individuals present all just like bump into each other, make chainmail sounds, and exclaim and try and call each other through the messaging, and the kobolds in Draconic go, well, I mean, if we didn't hear that, like it's on us at that point. Like that was crazy. That was like someone was setting up a market. Yeah, everybody roll initiative.
Yvain actually rolled a 16.
We're not gonna get that.
She always rolls for shit.
Yeah, we're not gonna get that extreme yet. So hold off on the initiative. But you're certainly caught. Like whoever rolled well, which may have been Ember, maybe.
Yvain.
Oh,
Yvain.
no.
So,
Ember got a 6.
Oh, Yvain rolled a 16.
How did Finch
like-
get a 10?
Like her stealth was a 16.
Ember's like dragon jerky, and everyone's like, oh,
in
yeah.
history, Finch is the most stealthy person in the group.
How?
As per usual.
Ember's pulling a
With a
tuck their
tongue.
hands in
all
between
his
their
pots and
plates.
pans are rattling against
Right,
each
yeah.
other. And it's truly like a comical mess. Finch and Yvain, you're the not even you. Like 10's not that good either.
No,
But-
10's not good at all.
No, to be clear, these guys have like not a great passive perception, but they fucking hear you. Yvain, you're the only one who's like, and you're like, like you're watching the whole group like this. Zarbog, you're off to the side, just like, but like you're like, I made the wrong call. I shouldn't have done that. And Fenn's just like, his tail's between his legs, like, he looks at you, Zarbog, like, what were you thinking? Dad, what were you thinking? But yeah, you would hear like, and you guys sort of like look down the side and you see all the little kobolds sort of, and it's sort of like getting a little, they're like up at you guys. You know, does anyone speak Draconic?
I
No.
might actually. Let me double check.
Well, the good news
Um,
is they're not after the voice anymore.
Dorman's like, we didn't bring one person first in Draconic. I mean, we weren't looking for dragons, so it makes sense that we wouldn't. But still, I heard adventurers are supposed to be at least trilingual.
I do speak Draconic as one.
Oh, good, yes. You hear them basically saying like, hey, what's going on up there? What's that sound? And they're like, and they're just kind of like trying to see up there. At this point, you guys can all look down with your low stealth and be like, hello.
They have this Monty Python moment.
Yeah, exactly.
We all get the cartoon rosy cheeks of embarrassment.
But anyway, yeah, what would you all like to do is you definitely rouse the suspicions of the kobolds. They're not immediately aggressive, but they're definitely like, fuck off, is kind of what their general state is right now.
I mean, if
What?
you want to
Like-
be diplomatic, I could translate.
Yeah, we could try that if you want.
Yeah, I'm quite familiar with kobolds. I've put together the skeletons many a time. And then Glint will, in Draconic, just sort of call down, hello, I apologize for disturbing you. We're taking a moment to convene. We mean you no harm.
Right. Who? The dwarves. You come to take your mind back from us.
No, just looking for a city.
A city? There's one really far away from here.
Which
and the other
direction?
kobold goes, "Oh, tell them about the one upward." He goes, "Oh yeah." No, it's if he goes, "If you go up, there's supposed to be a really big one."
Oh, we know about that one. We found that one already. Quite well.
My great grandpappy invaded it once.
Oh,
Yes,
how did go for him?
not well.
Hmm.
Can we just kill them?
If we move through here,
Huh?
you will let us go peacefully.
What do you mean go through here?
Well, we have to travel through the mine. We're in the search of another city, an old city that has been lost for a while.
Okay.
And
Weird.
the maps we have put us through the mine. We're not planning on taking the mine back from you.
Well, you should get out of here because this is our mine, and we want it because it's nice. It's got bridges and stuff. The sorcerer said so. And the other goes, "Yeah, sorcerer, yeah."
The sorcerer.
Yes, he's in charge because he's magical and he has dragon blood. More dragon blood than me, anyway. And him, and her, and him.
Could you tell me a little more about this sorcerer? Are they a kobold like you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, kobolds stick together. Pack tactics.
Could we meet with them?
Make a persuasion check.
Not bad, not terrible. Total of 10.
It goes. And the other one goes, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" He goes, "Yeah, sure, why not?" He goes, "Yeah, fair enough." He goes, "Get the sorcerer, get the sorcerer, get the sorcerer." And it's sort of like a chain, like a daisy chain of them talking to like the next kobold on the next bridge, and the next one on the next bridge, and the next one on the next bridge. Eventually, you see a kobold that has like made out of like bone and leather sort of strapped to their back is what seems to be a normal kobold with a little bit extra clothing, like a tad extra clothing, and some leathery wings made out of, again, leather and bone, appears unto you all. And he goes, "What is it that you want, my young kobold friends?" And they go, "I want the dwarf wants to talk to you." He goes, "A dwarf down in these parts. They've abandoned these mines long ago." He's speaking in Draconic. "They abandoned these mines long ago." Looks up at you and goes, "What do you want?" "You.
Hello.
Have you come to take the shinies from us?"
We don't want your shinies.
Good.
Simply safe passage.
Unto where? Where would you go? The safe passage.
Where are we going for safe passage?
Jomen says, he'll speak quietly. He says, "Actually, I was thinking we should get rid of them. This mine would be immensely valuable. Like, Warm Ethros journal speaks of psionically infused gemstone called azurite. The mine might have some of these precious stones within it."
I would feel a little out of sorts if they're not meaning us harm and we just destroy all of them.
Or azurite. Well, maybe you seem tricky with words. Perhaps you can trick them into leaving, going away.
You want me to steal their house?
Karzi's like, I can speak Draconic because I can speak Draconic because I'm a Dragonborn. So if you need any assistance, Clint, you let me know. I'll just be back here.
Friends, how would you like to proceed? I will do my best to go with our plan, as it were.
I mean, if we can get along peaceably, I suppose that would be my preference. But if they're going to attack us, of course, we have to defend ourselves.
Of course, if they attack us, by all means. But they did mention shinings. I imagine it'd be quite easy to bribe them.
Roman says, I mean, this is an excavation. And let us be honest, I hope no one takes any offense to this. I'm not seeing any kobolds amongst us, but, well, they are scavengers and sort of rodent-like creatures. Like, do we really need to deal with them? We have a great amount of might on our side. Perhaps we could just do what we wish and help this person who speaks into our mind. I'd much rather have the mind for us than to help the whims of some kobold creatures. They could be valuable things down here.
You know, if there's a voice talking into our minds, they might have heard it as well and might know what it's from.
Oh, yeah, we should ask if they've heard a woman.
Hello down there.
Yes, I got distracted, sorry.
Oh no, it's quite all right, herding cats. So, we are currently in search of an ancient city that is likely buried somewhere in this region. We're happy to arrange for a toll, as long as it's reasonable for safe passage through your mine. But we were wondering, we've heard rumor of some presence here that speaks into the minds of those that drift through these tunnels. Have you heard it before?
Make a persuasion.
Alrighty. That's a 7.
7. Because no, we have heard of no such thing. There's certainly no strange voices within our minds. But know this, we have made this mine our home. We've come here to seek safe harbor, and harbor we have found.
I do understand that, and I have no intention of challenging or displacing you, but we have been hired to safely convey our employer through these tunnels to where they're going. If we are allowed through, there'll be no issues.
What do we get for your what sort of toll would you pay to us?
It's a very good question. They're asking what we're going to bribe them with.
Marcy says,
Marcy's gotta have something on them they'd like.
I'm not giving kobolds any of my finery. It would be obscene. You know how much I paid for this?
Well,
A
I
lot.
have 20 gold on me. Would 20 gold be sufficient?
Or why am I rolling? Make a persuasion check.
Alrighty. That's better. That's a 12.
A 12?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 40 gold. Where are you trying to go? You want to? Is there somewhere? You don't intend to come back, do you?
I mean, we're likely going to return back to the surface. So it's sort of, a there and return ticket, a round trip, if you will.
Oh, perhaps it is 20 gold for every each. Yes, I like that. If you have 20 gold, he must have 20 gold. Right? You're rich city people. Give us 20 gold each for every time you pass through our mine. That's right. That seems reasonable, right? The other kobolds are like, yeah, good job, boss.
I will convey this to my cohorts, and we will deliberate.
That's fine, but do these things know the difference between gold and trinkets?
And can they count?
Well, they have fingers. I don't really. I mean, I assume they would. Their leader is a spellcaster of some kind. I believe they said he might have had dragon blood in him. That's a little more resonant than the rest of his kin. So if one of them is of sufficient mind to shape the weave into proper spellcraft, I would say they're probably relatively intelligent, even if they're not educated.
Karzi says, hear this, all right. Just brainstorming an idea. You tell me what you think.
Mm-hmm.
What if I challenge him to a magical duel for leadership of the kobolds? And when I surely win, because I am a magnificent one, am I? And when I surely win and defeat the other sorcerer, I become the leader of the kobolds, and we come through whenever we want, and have an army of kobolds at our back. How about that?
Oh, I do kind of want to see this.
Actually, yeah, I'm sort of all for this.
I'm amenable.
Yeah, how about it?
Oh, really? I knew I was meant for the adventure in life.
This could be your big contribution.
Yes, this could be the story of Karzi. All right, here we go. An interconic. He's going to point his hand down. His voice is going to reverberate through the hall, through magics. A sorcerer glyph will appear upon his brow, and he'll say, which glitch will basically translate to something like, "You there, little squishy one. You claim to have blood of the dragons. I spit on your name and challenge you for leadership of this clan, as my dragon blood is surely superior to yours, silly little one." And he's gonna coax them into, that'll do.
Called him a naive and a rapscallion.
Oh, that's a good one, rapscallion. I don't know if there's a word for that in but I'll give it a shot. Or the Turma? And then they're all like, oh. He's like, oh, apparently. It works. And it goes, I accept your challenge. You may be tall, but my magics are second to none. And Karzi will go, all right, let's do this. And he goes, all right. He goes, I'll be back momentarily. Worry not. And if the battle seems to be going bad, kill them all. And he'll cast a little spell. He'll flip down onto the bridge. He goes, there goes all my 4th level spells for the day. And will, I guess one was counterspell, the other was for flare, because he's Karzi. He'll flip down, and will say all kinds of draconic insults on the bridge. And I gotta tell you, folks, this won't be a very hard challenge. Karzi's a 7th level rune child sorcerer, and this kobold has like 2nd level spells, has like its top most powerful spells levitate. So you witness a battle where it goes, fire, Karzi's like doing dragon breath, and the kobolds are like, oh, I actually can do dragon breath, that's so cool. And he shoots off fire bolts, and Karzi's making a little bit of a show of it, like he's like almost intentionally shooting fire bolts into the air as part of the whole show. And it's like, and he like shoots a chromatic bolt at Karzi, and he's like, Kim throws up a shield spell, and Karzi's just like kind of playing with his food a little bit, and then eventually says, no, it's time for you to be defeated, you rapscallion. He's all saying this in Draconic, so all of you are just hearing like, and then
translating?
Yeah, Glenn's just, he has a notebook, and he's just waving his hand using prestidigitation to make sort of subtitle captions appear across the page.
He's just got a billboard. It's like, but it's really like, it's full Monty Python bullshit. It's like your mother was a hamster and your mother smelt of elderberries. Like all kinds of that. Like you're amazed he's not a bard with the vicious mockery.
Now be gone, or I shall taunt you a 2nd time.
Yeah, pretty much. And he will end the battle.
Taunt him.
Taunt him. Which is pretty much what he does for most of the battle, where it's like, oh, okay, fucking get on with it. And it's like, probably the general idea. and then in the end, he will get a little excited, and he'll be like, "I've always wanted to try this one, lightning bolts!" And lightning shoots up and kills not only the sorcerer but the two kobolds standing behind him. And he goes, "Oh shit, that was a little more than I thought it would be. Sorry about that. Shouldn't have empowered it too. Oops." And he goes, "But I've won! I've won! Ha ha! Cozy is the master of the dragons. That's right. Ha ha! I am your leader now." And he is going to do a little check. All the kobolds go, "Ah, great sorcerer dragon! Ah, I serve you! Ah, accept the wings! Accept the wings!" And he goes, "I'm not going to wear that. It was made of bone. Gross." He goes, "I have a tail after all. I don't need the. No, no, no." And they're like, "Come on, put on the dragon wings." "I don't need dragon wings. Right?
On the wings, Kazi. Say the line.
No, I'm not putting on leathery. Maybe if they're made of something a little bit better. I'm not.
I'll make you better ones.
Honestly, I don't think they'll fit. They were made for someone of smaller stature.
Oh no, they look downright cherubic on me.
That's right. I am far too.
You would want to break something so important. We'll make you something that fits properly.
Exactly. He'll sort of go into Draconic and use that and be like, basically say like, my form is filled with fresh food and fine wines. I am far too stout and well endowed with the life of luxury that such a thing would surely burst into a million pieces if placed upon my broad and beautiful form. It would be an insult to the wings." And the kobolds are like, "True! Yeah, totally true!" And they will say, "You don't need to wear them! We'll still follow your lead!" And he goes, "Great! As my first order, fuck off!" And they're like, "Yes, great dragon!" And they all just sort of run into different caves and caverns. And Karzi is just gonna like let off some prestidigitation. He's gonna be like, "I'm the hero! I'm a hero of Emon! Ha ha!" And he will be very pleased with himself that this.
Karzi, that was brilliant. It was. I hope we don't need that magic later. But
How
that
strangely
was
specific
incredibly
this quest
brilliant.
was. Oh, thank you so much for saying so. How strangely convenient towards my very specific abilities this quest has been. And he will be very, very pleased with himself as the kobolds all disappear to the Crystal Fen Caverns to hopefully not get mauled by some horrible cave creature, but probably, if we're being honest. And he goes, "Oh, right. Excellent. This has been a marvelous day. Sweet. Let us continue doing what we were doing. What were we doing again? We'll caught up in a moment."
We are following the ghost voice.
You would hear in your head, Zarvok, "They're gone now. They've scattered. You must have considerable might to have made them flee as they did. Thank you. Thank you so much. But please, I need help still, though."
This is not going well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we've dispatched them. Now what direction?
The bottom of the shaft. Bottom of the shaft.
All right, bottom of the shaft.
All right. How does the party intend to reach the bottom of the shaft? You want to just like go around try and navigate through the various mine circular tunnels all the way to the bottom? Does anyone want to be a little more epic about it? Karzi definitely like floats down for the fly spell. He's like, "Yes, glory, glory!" as he like floats down. It's also really that as he's cast spells, you've seen like runes begin to ignite across his body. So he's like glowing right now with different magical runes, and he's like, "I am the best, I am the best," and he's just like floating down, relishing in his victory as an adventurer.
Yvain's going to say, "I can jump down, and maybe if I make myself a backpack, I could backpack Zarvog down? Or I can spider and just ferry us down."
Ew.
All right, yeah, okay.
That may be the safest, though.
Beverly says, "I'm okay with just walking down the
Right.
following the tracks."
All right, come on, kid. I'll walk you down. I'm not doing the
Oh.
spider thing again. It's weird with hairy legs.
Again? And as you walk down, you can regale Beverly the tale of hairy legs.
Of the spider.
And I think Jorman will favor that too. He'll go down. You can all find your way down. As long as there's nothing, no one wants to do anything particularly exceptional. Karzi will just he'll make sure to float down at the same rate as you guys are traveling down to be like, haha, yes.
Yvain's gonna jump off. She hasn't gotten a chance to use her pauldrons yet.
And Karzi's like, don't worry, I'll catch you. Oh, you went too fast. And you will ignite the power within the Griffin pauldron, and you'll sort of right and then just kind of gently tap down at the bottom, being the first down. Karzi will sort of float to the ground very gently, and at the last 2 feet, will just fall into a 3-point pose, a really flamboyant 3-point landing, woo,
Flamboyant but dainty.
Iron Man landing. He's like,
Yeah.
and he goes, yes. He'll stand back to back with you, Vane. He goes, watch out, Crystal Fen Caverns. We're here. Yeah, sort of. He's totally just riding the drama of everything, and he's posing and everything. He's voguing. It's yes. Oh, fuck, so good. Venture. And he's going through it. He's having a time. But eventually, the whole group will join you guys downstairs. This will be a challenge. Man, I feel like this is some kind of
It's a really cool map though you made.
Yeah, this is an incredible map.
Oh, thanks. I didn't make it. I stole it. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Moving right. Yeah. No, I definitely borrowed this from Tales Tavern, which is a collection of maps and such from internet.
Very cool.
I do not have the time nor the patience to make it a single map, unfortunately.
The verticality of this was mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, hats off to whoever made it. I probably should have at least liked it before, pirating it. I mean, they put it out for free. It's not my fault. Anyway. But anyway, eventually, after a while, not too long, you guys all managed to get to the bottom of the cavern. You all sort of gathered below. I will situate you so you're not so weirdly proportioned. You hear in your head, Zarvolg, as you and Jorman seem to be the only one who are experiencing the voice, saying, I think I can hear your steps. You're close now.
All right. Looks like we're at a four-way junction. You want to guide me in the right direction?
I'm here, and you can hear a little some moving of the water, splashing sound.
Ew.
From one direction.
That's no good. Okay, let's go to the splashing water.
All right, Zarvolg, you begin to make your way to the splashing water. As you make your way there, you're going to see very shallow water. That sort of is just you look at to be clear, you look at the different junctions. Two of the tunnels look rather dry and they ascend, one of which is what the party would have come down from the next layer up. The other two definitely look to be overflown with water. One side looks to be at least caved in at some portion near toward the back. The other seems to expand onward, seems to be sort of a longer river. There's also something very important to note. Everyone is going to see this eventually. As you make your way down, it becomes more and more apparent. You see, as you're making your way down, glowing blue notches throughout the mine. And you are going to see these strange, faintly glowing blue gems are immersed throughout the walls of this mine. Glint, you may go ahead and, because you are a dwarf and your stone cunning and your masonry, you may go ahead and make
jewelers.
Yeah, and jewelers, make me a nature check. You may make this at advantage.
All right. That's going to be a 15.
15. You with a 15, I want you to throw our con on top. It's just throw just the flatter con on top.
Okay. 21.
Okay. You make your way down, and you recognize that this is, these are magical gems. Whatever they were before, they've become something known as azurite, which is an incredibly rare gemstone that only appears in the presence of extensive psionic activity. They're also pretty valuable.
Whatever is in that water is psionic.
At that point, Zarvog, you will see what is in the water before. So you go down the passage where it looks to be some kind of cave-in. You see half submerged in the water, but breathing very shallow, as if remarkably hurt or exhausted. You see a very large pink form, large, with 3 eyes on its forehead, one after the other descending, and a large toothed maw with no lips, and its body is covered in various lengths of tentacles. It is like some kind of strange, malformed combination between a squid and a shark and something alien, as you see it sort of laying there.
Ew.
You just say, right. You say "ew" out loud as you and Jorman approach, and you see this creature just laying there, and you hear the voice in your head say once more, it says, I will hopefully ignore that comment, as you have saved me from the creatures.
Oh, that was you? You who were afraid of the kobolds?
Its breath is labored and says, yes, I expect if they found me, they would have ate me or something.
What?
Do you need aid?
They would have eaten me or something.
Yeah, do you need aid? Are you all right? Can we help?
Yes, I've been here for too long. I've been too far away from the lake. I got trapped here, and I've been going hungry and tireless to protect myself.
Oh,
if you could, please.
Trapped by that? And he points at like the cave-in portion. Trapped by that?
Yes. I strayed too far from the lake, and I've been trapped here for a couple days. I don't know how much longer I have in me to hold out. If you could you please, if you could drag me across towards the other flooded shaft, I could perhaps make my way home.
It's still talking to me psionically, right?
Yes, this is all happening within your mind.
Can we all see this creature?
Would anyone have joined Zarvol? Because this is a mental conversation. So you guys just, anyone who can see Zarvol right now is just sort of staring off into the dark passage.
I think with the
They would have
gems,
stepped up.
yeah, he'd be too curious not to come see what's going on.
As soon as Glenn said psionic, Yvain would have stepped up.
Clint and Yvain step up. Karzi's perhaps talking to somebody. Maybe all the skeletons who are like, he's like, and then I hit him with a lightning bolt. So that's kind of in the background. But you guys step up into your, with Jorman, by the way, who's interested as well.
Yeah,
to your horror, you see this horrific creature. And that is a pretty accurate representation of what the creature looks like. Right?
So
maybe a little bit.
Decidedly, probably not of the natural order.
You can make me a nature, or you know what? I'm gonna spare you guys any need for checks. You can roll them to see if you have the same knowledge, but Jorman will certainly know what this is. He goes, that's an aboleth. They're the Salah. They spoke of Von Ethro spoke of creatures like this. I came across them in my research. They're powerful psionic subterranean sea creatures. They say they have the power to enslave minds and horrible, wretched creatures. But I'll say if anyone wants to expand on that, they can go ahead and roll their.
This one claims to need assistance, and so far it seems to be relatively friendly.
Yeah, so the total Arcana is a 27.
27. Well, this would be nature or history, I would say.
Oh, nature or history? With history, that would be a 24.
24, very good. Yvain, what'd you roll?
I did not roll. I want to do something else, but I'll wait for this.
Okay. What you would know, Glint, is that these are considered to be, like, as Jomen said, powerful psionic sea creatures. They're definitely considered aberrations. They're considered a very alien race to Exandria. Nobody's terribly certain of their origins, though I can look into that. But they are well known to be powerful telepaths that can enslave the minds of people. They make layers in the deep, subterranean lakes, rocky depths of the oceans. They're very intelligent, and I believe, like, you would have already heard from Von Athros that, or from, oh my god, so many names, sorry. Jorman would have said on behalf of Von Athros, says, perhaps Solar was created by these alien creatures.
That's what I was thinking myself.
An ancient race. They're certainly a pre-calamity creature. They are considered to have eternal memories. They have flawless memories and pass their knowledge and experience off from generation to generation with perfection. They are considered by many to be incorrectly to be like gods because of their power to enslave and bring people into subjugation. And they are largely by clerical orders considered to be like abominations. Like their very existence is an affront to the gods.
And yet one is here, weakened and begging assistance.
Anyone can roll a medicine check if they want to see.
Yeah.
The DC is higher if you're doing it from afar, which I assume you all are, not approaching the creature.
Yeah.
But
30-20.
30-20. Okay, I'll wait for others who want to do it, if anyone.
Much lower.
Okay. Yvain, from the side, you're sort of like looking at the creature. You don't see any signs of physical wounds. You don't expect that their injury is of a physical nature. Per the cave-in, you like look back and see the cave-in, the shallow water. You expect this creature is just horribly exhausted. It looks like it could barely move. It's labored even to breathe. You expect it's at about 5 levels of exhaustion.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. Yvain is going to cast Charm Monster.
Okay. What's your saving throw?
16.
Okay, let's see. Charm Monster.
Con. 16.
Charm Monster's Con? I thought that was Wisdom.
I'm looking at it right now. Shit, is that the one I meant to do? No, it's Wisdom. You're correct. It is Wisdom. I'm so sorry. It is Wisdom.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
No problem. No worries. I
don't know why
Charm
I thought
Monster,
that was Con.
that is going to be there's going to be a 21 to save.
All right.
The spell sort of falls away. There's a very clear sign of spell casting. The creature maybe a wisdom saving throw, you mean? And to be clear, nobody is aware of anything that might or might not happen in the next few seconds.
Okay.
22.
22. Okay. You cast a spell, and that's all. That's all you're really aware of. It doesn't seem to take hold. Your concentration doesn't extend. The creature once more pervades into your mind, Zarvol, and says, I mean no harm to you and your group. I simply seek return to my home.
It keeps simply asking for help. It doesn't seem hostile in any way. It wants to be transferred to a deeper body of water.
Where is its home?
If it ex-
Where? Yes. Where are you from?
Says,
Could you?
The lake. It begins directly across in the mine shaft behind you that's flooded. If I could be there, even if I'm floating adrift, I would be able to descend lower and feed and be able to regain some of my constitution. That's all I ask is just bring me to the other side of the shaft here.
I think we understand your situation. I'm asking you to understand ours. We're plenty happy to help if we don't believe that we're in any danger. Would you mind answering a few questions, giving us some information first so that we can feel a little more at ease?
Maybe a persuasion check.
I'm not good at that. Oh,
and a
yeah.
+6. Oh, no, okay, never mind.
I actually got a natural 20, but I have a -1,
Wow.
so it's 19.
Very nice, very nice. It says, very well. I will do my best to answer. I'm not as I usually am in mental strength, but I will try to recall what I can.
I understand. We'll be quick.
All right. Did Glint pass on the information that he knows about this thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you? Oh, actually, what's his name? Talked about it, right? The page elf.
Yeah, Jomen spoke of Solar, and it was an ancient
Right.
city built by alien design. He says these could be the creatures that created it, but it all fit together quite well.
We've come down here looking for an unseeable city. Is that something with which you're familiar?
Yes, yes, I could reward you with information if you wish. If you take me to the other side of the lake, I could reveal to you a vision of those depths, one that would be comprehensible to the minds of you and your followers.
All right. I think to be fair, I mean, I've gone along this far because it's pretty convincing, but can I make an insight check?
Sure, maybe an insight check.
Oh, well, that was a 5, so.
You're just having a difficult time reading it because,
Yeah.
like, how do you? The only thing you can read is this voice in your head. Otherwise, it's an indistinguishable fucking monster. You're like, I don't know how to tell if it's, lying.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jorman is aware of the conversation. He's the only one aware. So I'll roll a little insight on his behalf and see if he can sort of advise you, Zarvol.
Sure.
He sort of leans over and says, sort of whispers in your ear, he says, strangely, I don't detect any deception from it. It's quite persuasive. Be cautious, but it's quite convincing.
Right. And I'll say this to the group in common. I don't know if you can understand this or not, but
I mean, we were charged with coming down here to find out about the city, right?
I worry about a thing that's known for creating slaves of humanoids. Please tell me I'm not the only one who's experiencing a measure of concern at this moment.
No, I get it. It just doesn't seem that slavey right now.
I'm very curious about one, if there's more of these creatures, and two, whether or not its tune might change whenever it's got a little more power back. But this is definitely a situation of caution, but also maybe our best lead.
I'll tell you what, Jorman sort of beat the DC to of insight. So he will reveal just like a slight bit more information. He says, I don't believe it to be lying. It seems quite persuasive in this moment, but it also seems incredibly concerned with its own self-preservation. It's desperate. It's backed up against a wall. Imagine we wouldn't. It seems to be all it's concerned of. Just be cautious. Things that are concerned with its preservation, and it's only its preservation can be dangerous when cornered.
So it's willing to make a deal.
Seems so.
I imagine so. And if it is so weak, then we would likely have it, at the very least, if its intentions are poor, a day or two of safety while it recovers. But, just hedge your bets.
Joren,
Yes.
what beyond this, what sort of information do you suppose we're going to need, or we're expected to take back with us?
Sort of flips through the book a bunch and he goes, well, Lord Ethros didn't speak of anything aberrant on this scale or psionic on this scale other than sort of voices here and there in the walls, which could, of course, be the aboleth, perhaps. But the real portions of insanity she experienced doesn't happen until some ways past the mine. Begins to sort of speculate through. He says, well, I think what most important is this mine is very important. The gemstones here are worth a tremendous wealth. For one. For two, the actual discovery of Solar and its secrets could be of immense value unto itself. The mine is an excellent find, but we should continue forward.
All right.
He asked us to tell it about how many friends it has, and if there's a way to protect our minds from going insane, since anyone who gazes upon the city apparently loses their minds.
Sure.
All right. Again, we're discussing how to best safely help you. How many of there are you? If we can get you to safety, how many will you be joining?
In the shaft across the way. I expect none. I've been trying to reach out with telepathic probes for days now, and I've heard nothing but the creatures who came to kill me. I expect none of my kin are anywhere near towards where I am.
Do you have any
I
idea?
assure you, I have little defense. There's many of you and only me.
Do you have any idea how much further Solar is from here?
Yes, I do. It is some ways. As I said, I could reveal a comprehensible vision to your party upon my placement in the river across the way. I could give you some information that you seek if you wish. But please, I understand. I don't wish to die.
Yeah, and Joren can hear that, right?
Jordan can hear that. He's kind of he's undecisive. He's kind of leaving it in your guys' hands. He's like, I have the book and I'm the researcher and I'm taking notes and such. But as for these difficult dilemmas, he leaves those in your hands. It's sort of the energy he gives off.
It's offered to provide us with some information and give us sort of a comprehensive vision of what the city is like, what lies beyond the caverns.
I'm reluctant to trust a creature of such devious backgrounds, but if it is telling the truth, and it could be remarkably helpful.
These creatures are effectively living libraries, yes?
Jorman would say, I think I've heard something similar in my research, perfect memories and generation of information and such, yes?
If we have a chance to meet with this one more while it's recovering, the historical implications of what we might be able to uncover would potentially be very valuable. Academically, at least, if not monetarily.
Jomen says, "It's true. It is a, if nothing else, despite its background, a repository of exceptional knowledge. Perhaps even hundreds and hundreds of years, maybe even dating back to the Calamity."
It has only
It is-
asked, it has only asked to be moved to a deeper pool, still isolated from its kin.
So just to correct that, basically the idea is that the pool back there would connect. Like
Perfect.
it's still very, very far. Basically, the creature expresses that none of my kin are anywhere close to my location. Otherwise, I might not be in the situation. But it is like a lake, and apparently would connect with further caverns that it could travel through.
All right.
And one last thing I want to put in there for your role, Gwen, is scholars are largely certain that that aboleth are like they don't die of old age. They're essentially immortal creatures. They pass down their knowledge. When they die, it's usually violent, or almost always violent. They expect that they are nigh immortal, almost immortal creatures, which is where this sort of reputation of godliness comes from to many humanoid cultures.
Interesting. Clint wants to see what happens just for the mystery of this. I mean, he's invested. Honestly, I kind of want to go along with it and see what happens. A chance to talk more with this creature, or at least earn its gratitude. I think that's worth a little risk.
Zarvo kind of it certainly seems a little enthralled by it and keeps kind of like trying to find different angles to look at it.
Finch.
Interesting.
We'll say in this. So Finch, would you be there at this situation, or are you kind of hanging back talking to the other members of your party?
No, I think I would be there.
Okay. So yeah, you've been. If that's the case, then you've been certainly aware of the conversation so far. We'll say Beverly dutifully sort of follows along and is surprised
Peeking over
and
people's
overwhelmed.
shoulders.
Yeah, kind of like behind your cape. It's like, whoa. But yes, Yvain asks you for your thoughts, Finch.
This is interesting.
I mean, if it wasn't, it wouldn't even be a point of debate, really, right? I mean, it's something of a pickle.
It is. Why don't we convene for a moment? Because we're all just like staring at this creature from this cave, right?
Yeah. I will say, just to like hand it off to you, between your knowledge, yours and Jomen's knowledge, and maybe some passive insight on your part, Zarvold, you get the sense this creature primarily communicates telepathically and maybe doesn't understand any, like, as it's communicated, it hasn't seemed to be warped. Because, like, there's been points where you guys have been like, nah, like, look, this thing. It hasn't seemed to show any concern as you've said that. You get the sense that it's not probably comprehending at least common.
Yeah.
So this delegation you're having before it seems to be largely unaware of what you're talking about. Just to move things along, I suppose.
All right. Quick vote.
I'm for doing it a solid. as they say.
I'm also for trying to move it.
Same. Agreed.
As soon as Finch says same, Beverly's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can vote, but I'll go along. Yeah, sure." Very much following Finch's lead. Jomen says, "I abstain. I'm it's such an interesting dilemma. I'm happy to see what you just."
Do we have any strong objections, Ember?
I want nothing to do with it. But
I'm not going to lie. I
you
support Ember on this, but
you guys do what you think is best. I will be in preparation for something untoward.
That's fair. Karzi, you in?
What did you say, Zarval?
I said, Karzi, are you in?
Karzi says, into what?
Moving a monster.
Moving a monster? What are you talking about? And he sort of wanders over and sees it and goes, "Oh, gross! Ew! Ew! No! Oh, fuck! Gross! I'm not touching that."
Not in that way, Karzi.
No, I know. I didn't mean it that way either. I don't want anything to do with it. What are we deciding exactly? Moving it or what?
Yeah, we're trying to help it. You can stay with Ember if you like.
Oh, wait, why? Gross. Hey, do whatever you want. Leave me out of it.
Stay back with Ember.
Yes, I will stay back
Regardless
by
in case,
civilized.
regardless in case something bad happens. Yeah, just keep your eyes open.
Oh, I may have used all my spell slots in that last battle with the kobold, but I'll do my best. I'll convert some sorcery points, and he sort of see a little like glow off of his clothes. He's like, "There, have some back." Yes, I'll guard you.
Yvain, are you helping?
Yeah, I'm helping.
All right.
Let's move us a monster.
All right. With this many people working together and the ropes that you have in your possession and so on and so forth, all I'll ask is, you guys approach the creature in the shallow water that it's in, I assume?
Yeah.
Wading into the water up to the creature, you see it laboriously try to breathe like the Triceratops in Jurassic Park. Its tentacles sort of laboring to even move at their ends. Like this creature is almost starved to death. And you guys can, throw some rope around it. It certainly makes no resistances. Maybe you hear some you and Zarval in your head. There's some faint, just like wispy, like thank yous. Just thank you.
Yeah.
And you tie it up, and you guys sort of drag it across the lane. It expresses some discomfort, sort of just passively, like absent-mindedly through the telepathy. Nothing apparent to you, but nothing painful, but just, it's hurt being moved. But you guys managed to drag it across the lane. Very much like so, just very simply over to here. Karzi's like, oh. And you guys drag it all the way across and manage to sort of immerse in the water, and very much like pushing a turtle or a shark or something back into a beached shark or something back into the waters. You guys kind of get to the edge there and kind of roll it into the waters, and just sort of limply sort of in the water, and you see it goes much deeper, like you can't even see the edge of where the water is beyond, and it just begins to sort of bob and sort of like drift lower into the water without any ability to actually swim. It just allows itself to sink. And it says, thank you. Thank you. In this moment, every single one of you is immersed in a blinding, deafening vision. You see all manner. Oh, I can just do like a full flavor thing right now. And just crank the fucking Rive Mind music. You guys have this all at once, this intense vision as your sort of mind's eye sort of travels through tons of twisting caverns, go underwater, swim underneath. You experience hundreds of years of time in seconds as you see images that were described in the books of von Ethros. You see this sort of haunting premonition of these ruins that boggle your brain. It's comprehensible, but just barely, not enough to break your mind, but enough to certainly like have you sort of as you experience and see architecture, the likes of which that is just too alien. Like, I almost imagine that there's almost like triggers, subliminal triggers in every person's mind, where if you just say the right thing or make the right frequency of sound or see the right thing, it'll trigger something unexpected in the mind, like a program almost. And in this moment, you experience twisting emerald pillars and rock carved into strange formations and things defying physics that boggle your brain to the extent where you almost feel a breaking in consciousness, but luckily you're pulled away from those images faster than your mind can fully attempt to comprehend them before overloading from the mere images. And you see in the end a floating white disc that just moves around in a circle around these emerald pillars that scrape all the way to the sky. Your consciousness splashes out many, many miles above to see the city of Emon up above, and you see Emon over hundreds of years go from a small settlement to a number of buildings to larger buildings to a wall being created and a large palace on the top of the mountain, and dragons burn it down and rebuilding itself, and then you come out of the image. And then before you come out of the image, you see a monster being attacked by the dragons, being built up, the walls crumbling to the ground, more buildings being built. Actually, before that happens, so you see the dragons burn it down, it rebuilds itself into its current sort of present day Emon, and then you see the whole thing break off and fall into this, and you hear screams in that moment, and your mind transfers back down under the ocean, wheels through 100 twisting, turning passages, and your consciousness is shot back into your own minds, and all of you find yourself stumbling against the wall as you have this haunting sort of premonition vision that is sort of implanted into your mind by the creature you just saved as per your deal. And that is that.
Oh, well, that was something.
You also feel the telepathic bond, Zarvalg. You weren't aware that you could really feel it when it wasn't active, but in this moment you know that sort of you are no longer connected to the creature of the altar.
It wasn't all history. At the end, it wasn't all history.
No, I mean, the city hasn't fallen into the ocean yet, right?
Not yet, it hasn't.
Is that a vision of the future or simply...
Based on context, probably. I feel like we just saw the history of this space we were in.
Yvain, I'll allow you to roll an Arcana check for your discipline towards the stars and divination.
Yeah, because Glenn's wondering, like, is this a potential path or like shaped by intention?
It's difficult to interpret for you all. Yvain is studying, so...
I'm just going to go ahead and claim that I'm going to add the d6, my wheel, to this, whatever it turns out to be.
Sure thing.
Yeah, you've been rolling nice for me here lately. Let's roll you. I will take that 30-20.
30-20. Per your abilities, from what you've been told of this creature, you don't expect it has divining power. You don't expect this is a creature that utilizes arcana or the stars to see into the future. The vision didn't portray a sort of prophecy or a fate, much like as you divine them through your weals and your woes. You expect that, much as Glint said, I don't want to say intention's the wrong word, but perhaps this creature had given you a sort of premonition of what it believes is to come, what it has foreseen, not through magic or divination or anything so arcana based, but through expectation.
It's a plan. All right, so it's not oracular, I don't think. It's not a vision, it's maybe an intention or a plan or a
Visualization. If it
desire.
You mean like that? You mean like that's what it wants, or that's what it assumes will happen without effort?
could well be both, if it well, you're more the expert in this. I'm just
I think it best we consider it a warning. Based on how things were going, like there was a certain amount of time between the Chroma Conclave, right? The walls coming down and the walls coming back up again, right? That represents, in my mind, that represents about 25 years.
Right.
Based on the amount of real time, feeling 10 seconds, 15 seconds, how long from the point at which the walls were rebuilt to the point at which Emon fell into the sea? Did it seem like it was a long period of time? Was it just a little short period of time?
So to be clear, I made a little fuck up in the telling of the vision, but the walls never come down. The walls always remain standing throughout the duration of the vision. I brought them down at one point, and I made a mistake. So your vision, you experienced the formation of Emon, the Chroma Enclave, the rebuilding of the palace, and then it sort of crumpling into the sea. I would like you to roll me. This is going to be a fairly high DC because it was an incredibly overwhelming vision, and all of that happened incredibly fast, so it's very hard to gauge time. But I will allow you to go ahead and make an investigation check. DC is a little high.
if she voices this, would Glint be able to give the help action to try and like triangulate and just kind of compare experiences?
I do not believe Yvain did voice it, so
Yeah.
I'm going to say that this is.
Okay. I thought she
Did
had.
you voice it? I thought you just asked me, can you gauge it?
Oh, yeah.
You
I'm
asked
sorry.
me
Yeah.
in the DM.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I'm asking you as a DM because I'm trying to pinpoint it, but I would absolutely be trying to coordinate with. I honestly would be.
Okay, sure.
Trying to communicate at least with Glint and with the page elf.
Certainly. Okay, sure. Yeah, go ahead and take the help action. I just here and there I try and eliminate the sort of aftermath meta of like I'd like to do this, and then people sort of
No.
check outside of roleplay. But if you but it sounds very relevant to what they would do. Absolutely go for it. Go ahead and have advantage. No problem.
I'm rolling investigation.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna roll my second d6.
Sure.
That was cocked. 21.
21. That's pretty good. I'm not going to be exact about it for 21, but I will simply say, like, what? So I'll say you don't gauge like time per se. You don't go like, okay, it took this long between the descent of the Chroma Enclave and the rebuilding of the palace gauged this much duration, so I will translate that. You don't really get to doing that, but you do try and translate major events. And all I will say is that you don't see any major events between the recreation of Cloudwatch Palace and this crumpling into the sea event. That happened quick enough, so you expect like it could be soon, it could be in a year or two, but it's supposed to be, according to this vision, the next major event that happens in Tal'Dorei. And with a 20, I'll even say with all these politics about the wall coming down, um, it either signifies that the aboleth don't know about that little political aspect of Emon, that the wall doesn't come down before this happens, or it happens before the wall comes down. One of those three are possible for the sake of the context of this vision.
I want to share all of that.
Okay. I will say off in the corner, Jomen has his own book out that he's been writing in periodically. He's just furiously taking notes. He's like, this is fascinating. And he's just like, he's completely disengaged from the conversation. It's just like, maybe he's listening, but he's taking note right now. And he's just like utterly fascinated by the experiences. So he's kind of not helpful. Beverly is like, you can see she's kind of nervous at the prospect of Emon falling into the sea. She's kind of coming to terms with that, being a sort of novice adventurer, a little nervous. Yeah, but you guys may continue to discuss.
All right, so our goal is to find Salah, come back, pick up some gemstones, and get back up to Emon.
Tormund says, "Oh, don't mind the mine. We would be down here for quite a long time if we intended to mine it ourselves. I expect its value is more its location than the actual procuring of the gemstones. We will take care of that when we get to the surface. But,
I'm familiar,
yes.
but I figured maybe we would want to take a sample for proof.
Oh, absolutely. You're quite keen. I'd agree.
I'm certain Glint could do that.
I'm certain any of us could do. For sure. And yeah, go ahead.
After all that we saw, do we still need to try and find the actual city?
That's what we were sent to do.
Jorman would say, "Oh, absolutely. Who's to say these premonitions by this ancient creature are meant to scare us away? This could be either we haven't set our eyes upon the place, we haven't brought back evidence of its existence. We surely should continue on." And Beverly, or I think Karzi would say, Karzi's sort of along for the adventure. He's not sort of here for a moralistic purpose, more of a indulgence purpose. Beverly's a little quiet. But she'll say, like, but if Emon's gonna fall into the sea, shouldn't we do something?
I think the proximity of this, and Yvain, you're likely wiser than me given your understanding of the visions and the like, but I would imagine the proximity of this creature so close to our goal is not a coincidence. And as such, if the worst case, that vision is its intention, then finding that city may well help us protect the one above us.
It's very easy, Beverly, to hear something and it be awful. And because you love people and you want to protect them, it's like you go and run and you want to let them know. But if someone's throwing, someone's throwing people overboard and they're running down the river, do you protect the people down the river? Or do you come up to the place where they're coming overboard, or they're throwing them in the river, right? And stop it from happening. So instead of going and running right now, we're trying to stop it from happening. That's what we're doing right now.
She kind of scratches her head. She says, "I admit I might have lost the analogy a little bit into that, but Bahamut, we serve Bahamut, and so we should protect him all, right? Not run away."
That's what we're doing.
Oh, okay. Karzi will sort of look around, and not in like a gregarious, selfish kind of way, but in a sort of like seeing the tension around the group. He goes, "Well, my feet are sore, and we have been traveling quite a while now. And I believe if we were upstairs, the sun would have set by now. So maybe it's the right time for us all to have a little dinner, set up a roll, and wind down for the evening, and do all the hero business tomorrow." What do we all say?
I was going to suggest the same thing.
Should we go a little farther away from the water if we can?
That might be wise.
Karzadrawn says, well, then to the top of the shaft we go. And he sort of does this, and he goes, oh, lost concentration. Sorry, not to walk. And he'll, and some of you guys can begin this, like, you know, all of you are a little perturbed and maybe have like this, like, you know, you don't go immediately, you're a little lost in thought, but eventually perhaps will trickle back into the mine shafts that wind back towards the top of the mine. But if there was ever a good place to find sanctuary in these caves, these half-flooded caves, it's perhaps at the top of the mine shaft, where there's some solid beams, good construction, and light. And you guys can all set up your bedrolls and tents, and begin to prepare to bed down for the evening.
Did Laura provide us with a way to contact her? Maybe we should provide an update.
Yeah, you know, I want to go get like 2 or 3 sending stones that we just keep. And when we meet people that we need to keep in touch with, we can be like, here's a sending stone in case we need to get in touch.
Well, if she didn't give us one, I can get a hold of her.
That's right. We can get a hold of her. Good thinking, Czar.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll wait until it's a little later, until whatever she is, head of the Tal'Dorei Council or whatever she is, till they normally go to sleep.
They do sleep. Interestingly enough, the members of the Tal'Dorei Council do find time and fall asleep, despite their busyness. So yeah, perhaps the morning might be time to make contact. It is getting late.
All right, and then I will dream visit.
Okay. You take out the glaive and sink it into the ground and pull your consciousness into the glaive itself and seek out Arcanist Aurora by Soren. I'm going to see if she's asleep. It seems you do make contact. You do find the dreams. Oh. So you find the sleeping mind of Allura, and as your consciousness begins to move towards her dreamscape, for the first time ever, Zarval, you find yourself almost bouncing off an invisible wall. And you're like, what the fuck? And is your consciousness trying to enter into hers, her subconscious, or sleeping subconscious. You find yourself kind of to physically demonstrate what you're experiencing, almost like miming against an invisible wall that seems to be guarding her mind.
Yeah, she's not gonna let me in. Fair enough.
All right. I guess I don't know that I have a choice, but even if I did, I think I'll just respect that and drop it.
Okay. You drop the spell. That'll be. You should address that later. That's a fun piece of information right there. But yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else anyone would like to do before that?
Yeah, so just to confirm, are we shooting for a long rest here or a short rest?
I think the idea is a long rest, because you guys left around the afternoon, and you've been traveling for about 4 hours, maybe spent another hour in this mine shaft already, so it's probably pretty late.
Okay, and then the place that we select camp at, is there one main point of entry to it, or multiple points from all angles, or because we're in tunnels?
I'll show you.
Yeah.
As previously shown, there is. Let's see here. So.
It's very fun to look at map as well, so I'm benefiting from this.
Yeah. So basically, how it works is, so this is the top level. There are openings in the caverns that lead, so like these open tunnels that lead to actual like mining caverns, or caverns that expand deeper into the Crystal Fen caverns themselves. But as far as like moving between levels, you might see here as I slowly descend that there is actually a railway that descends up and down the shaft for the sake of delivering those mine carts.
Got it.
So when you get to the very top, there is 4 points of entry into the cavern that the kobolds probably all fled through. If you're looking for a place with minimal points of entry, I'd suggest either sleeping in the actual tunnels where the carts travel through, a little tight, but and a little uncomfortable, you can, or the very bottom, because yeah, well, it's about the same as the top, but it has 3 entrances rather than 4 from the very top. So it's your decision.
Do we have any preference as a group?
No,
I have none. Doesn't matter to me.
I got it. Glenn would probably prefer towards the bottom of the tunnel, just given the cloaker that we encountered earlier.
Okay. It is worth noting that one of those does back onto a lake, so unless a creature from that lake can travel upon land and sea, you're probably not getting ambushed from that point. Another is caved in, so it's only the left and right tunnel that you would actually have to worry about.
Probably the cave in. Not for any like strategic reason, just we just had a spirit quest vision of seeing the whole city drowning.
Right. It's also lucky that you have 4 guards who can stand at attention at each of those 4 entrances and keep a watch of probably 2 individuals at a time with all the number of people you have.
Yeah. Glint's plan is to have the skeletons on watch. He's going to have them currently remove the crossbows. They're still like strapped to their back. Affix shield and sword. Glint's going to ritual cast Tiny Hut afterwards to designate all other friendlies currently in the area as being able to willingly enter and exit it.
What's the radius on that again?
I believe it's a 10-foot radius. Yes, 10-foot radius. It can fit up to 9 creatures of medium or smaller size that can fit inside with me, so 10 total.
Which means that everybody in the party would be able to fit in. You'll all be sort of like, fairly close to each other, shoulder to shoulder, maybe. You probably have your gear sort of under your legs. So it's a bit of a tight fit, but everyone should be able to fit. And if you have 2 people on watch and they're not in the hut, that'll provide.
Yeah, I think it would fit literally everyone plus the dog.
Yes.
Except then the skeletons will be outside.
I won't take up any space.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You are quite the independent traveler.
I brought my own house.
Yes, you appear within your own sanctuary.
Traveling in style. And outside of that, before casting Tiny Hut, I would probably toss alarm on whichever entrance is closest to the lake.
Okay, that would be this guy here. So you can certainly. You want to do that before your skelly,
correct. That way I can cast it and then walk over, cast the hut because I can't leave it once I cast it.
Right. Okay, so you do that and then cast the hut. No problem. So there are many precautionary measures are put in place. Good job, wizard. Yeah, you guys make yourself a little campsite. Is there anything else anyone would like to do before taking a long rest? Anything else you'd like to discuss around the fire? Anything like that?
Well, there is something I'm going to do during my non-watch time.
Understood.
In a side of sleep. I have keen mind. I saw the vision. I have cartography. I want to very specifically sketch out what that process of fall for Emon was. Was it the sea coming up? Was it Emon kind of collapsing from a central point, like a sinkhole opened? What those particular pieces were, because that will identify the point of failure.
I want you to make me. What tools do you have? What do you got?
Cartographer's tools, specifically.
Right, yeah, cartographer's tools. I would say that would have, sure. Yeah, I'll give it to you for cartographer's tools. Make me an investigation check at advantage. Go for it.
24.
24, I think, might do the job. So you keep reviewing that in your mind, almost like pressing play, rewinding, pressing play, rewinding, as you're trying to get the specifics down. And what it essentially looks like, what it reminds you of is a roof collapsing as a wall is taken down underneath from a certain point. You surmise, you see that it starts in the dock district. So perhaps to your own frustrations or terrors, the first to fall would be where your mother lives, and where your many friends and locals have lived, and you've known your whole life. But it does seem to sort of fall, like you see a portion fall, then another portion fall, another portion fall, and another portion fall, and then it all kind of joins together as it loses integrity. It makes you think of, as you sort of map it out, it reminds you very much of like I said, like a roof fall, or an overhang fall. With a 10, you may not be a carpenter or a mason or anything like this, but you can't help but feel like the way it falls, it reminds you almost like as if like pillars were breaking underneath the lawn as it falls in. Like one section, like that pillar's gone, that piece falls, that pillar goes, that piece falls. And then once it loses too much integrity, the whole thing joins together and falls. You could check your work by talking to a skilled mason such as Clint, to try and confirm this information. But as far as your cartography skills go, you sort of map around the city where it would fall in. It's very difficult, but you managed to do it because it happens so quick within the vision.
Okay.
You'll also receive, as you will be in your little hut and you prepare to like go to bed, chop up some food and such, you'll find that there is a letter inside your abode that is similarly addressed as you have received them, not often, but you have from your patron.
Oh, well, we'll read whatever that is.
You open up a scroll. I'm going to write it out for you, but the contents essentially say along the lines from Esteros, Lord Esteros, of course, basically saying like, hello, Ember. I hope you are faring well. I have received news that the great prophet of Bahamut, Finch Andegard, has returned to the city, and I couldn't help but remembering that such an individual lay within your party. Have you returned to Emon? If you have, I'd like to invite you to, and there will be a name for the inn that he describes, and says, I have been organizing a event amongst the various philanthropic and noble folk of Emon to perform a delving into Thordak's crater, and would hope that, as before, you and your party might be interested in such an endeavor, as there may be sparkling rewards and glory for your party to be had, should you join such an endeavor. Hope you are well, yada, yada, yada. Hope you're in good health. If you're not in Emon, perhaps very soon. I would like to see you and know that you're faring well. Hopefully the powers I've granted you are aiding in your adventures, so on and so forth. Signed by Lord Esteros. Very polite, very kind, welcoming to join such a philanthropic.
Fantastic.
That's
much
again,
better than
that's you soon.
terminal collapse.
a little sparkle to go with your impending doom. Incredible. And I will say that as you guys are around the, in the tiny hut, and Beverly's sort of very interested. Like she kind of loses the fear of the vision and is sort of like talking with you, Glint, about this is so cool, and like maybe you explain the Arcana to her, and it goes right over her head, but she's like, cool either way, and she's amused by the display of magic and your alarm spell, and we'll sort of hear about that. And Karzi, again, not in a selfish way at all, but perhaps in I see tension, I'm going to distract everyone from it, and maybe a little larger than life, not loudly or annoyingly. Well, you can decide upon that. But does his best to sort of distract everyone, like, oh, and now I didn't mean to explode those kobolds with my lightning, but my goodness, did I ever? Did you see me when I shot in the air? I mean, I could have been more efficient, but let's be honest, you didn't stand a chance. And I could have brought the kobolds with us, but let's be honest, I didn't think there was a hope for them for anything reasonable that could walk around Emon in my presence. You understand? Fineries of a certain thing, and they're literally in rags. And he'll just kind of try and tell jokes and be charismatic and either amuse or frustrate, because anything's better than terrified. Very much makes himself, he tries to alleviate the tension of the group before someone goes, okay, that's oh, yes, Clint, yes. Oh, and may I say, remarkable abode you have created. I mean, I will say, when you become powerful enough, may not kill you to add beds to the amenities, but still very appreciative. What can I do for you, my friend?
I will take your recommendations under advisement.
Of course.
I believe that Ember is more of the expert of hospitality and the arrangements and such, but
is he ever? You probably could take some notes from him, if not for that wonderful Emma girl. His mother, I can't wrap my head around it. They look the same age.
I've been meaning to ask him about that, and I've never figured out a good way to do so.
I find it's more fun to just blurt things out in as extravagant a way as possible.
Sometimes letting the intrusive thoughts win is the play to go.
My model.
Now, you said you were a model, correct?
Oh, you've seen my ads?
I haven't, but...
You haven't seen my ads around Emon? Well, there certainly hasn't been enough of them then.
I admit I haven't been searching for specific tailors or brands of wear, but I imagine you're very familiar with them.
Of course. I sometimes find myself so overwhelmed with work I have to turn people down.
Have you, by any chance, met a Dwarven tailor by the surname of Tinbuckle?
Tinbuckle. Does he pay well?
I would hope so. I couldn't tell you. We used to be something of neighbors coming up in Craghammer, but he left when I was quite young.
I see. I'm gonna go find out. He does. Give me just a moment. Sorry, I'm just hunting around for information. I can't remember anyone like off the top of my head immediately, but I'll let me think on it for a minute.
Certainly. One moment.
He'll get back to you on that. He's had a moment to pour over his delicate brain.
Of course.
Tinbuckles, says to himself.
I got a little ping somewhere as if a message was sent. I don't know.
Oh no, that was sorry, that was me. My sound was coming through the.
Okay, thank goodness. I was like, is there a ghost whisper somewhere?
No. I whenever I open Discord, it has me asks about my audio and it makes a sound. So no, that was.
Got it.
Let's see. Let's see. Because I think I might have. I don't think I worked for anyone named Tinbuckle, but the name is familiar. I might have turned down work from one.
Was it still in Emon at the time, or was it? I'm sure you traveled far and wide. given your wonderful appearance and the ability to wear the brand.
Oh, you're very kind, but no, I am from Emon through and through. I've actually never left the city.
Interesting.
Yes, yes, but I think so. I think I've heard of a tin bucket before. I believe he was a fashion student. This was in my younger days, you understand.
Of course. Well, I appreciate that. I'll have to look into it then.
I'll see what I can find out for you.
If you could, I'd appreciate it, just for old times' sake, though.
Of course, of course. Yeah. Anybody else? Anything they need to or want to do before bed? Okay. Let's see how your sleep goes. The last thing I'll say about your NPCs is Jomen Tash before bed. He does tons of notes for himself, does tons of notes in his own book, looks through his research papers, he flips through the book of the Von Ethros journal deeper into the pages to prepare for tomorrow, does some deeper preparation. He walks around the cave and goes up to the actual gem repositories and looks at them with fascination. He probably takes a sample himself. He gets out a dagger and kind of chips one out of the wall into a pouch and sort of fastens it up. Maybe he casts a couple spells and looks at it with interest and tucks it away. But eventually will come back to sleep. But is a very keeps himself busy kind of guy almost at all times. But yes, he'll go to sleep. While you sleep, nothing will befall the party. It seems that this territory was claimed, and thus dangerous creatures have kept away for some time. And it seems that the news hasn't spread too far around the Crystal Fen Caverns that it has been alleviated of its previous tenants. And so the territory that you sleep within is safe for the moment. And you all rest. You may click the button if you need to, of course. And as you arise the next morning, the journey continues. Jomen Tash will say, all right, whenever we're done breakfast, I know the way forward, but that vision was strangely aligned with some of the notes here by Von Ethros in certain aspects. We have a little travel ahead of us, deeper down, but surely we will get closer.
While we travel, would you share?
Certainly, I'll share some of the notes, and he'll begin to speak at some of the notes, and you look over his notes. But one thing I will say, Yvain, is, as I'm sure you are curious, as he's going through his research papers, and he's just organizing them and putting them aside, he's reading through his book. You're looking over all of the notes, Yvain, and you see they're all wrote in deep speech.
Page elves?
Tormund Tosh's notes are all wrote in deep speech. I'm going to send you a message really quick. In the Zoom. Okay. He explains some of it. And he goes, "Oh yes, some of the. This is where things start to go off the deep end for Von Ethros. Very unfortunate, but very interesting stuff. But anyway, guess everyone will be going down that tunnel. Just when everyone's ready, please let me know. Mr. Zolvol, I'll be very excited to have you at the front of the line again. You've been quite the survivalist, and he will excitedly talk about the information. He says, "Oh, and these gemstones, how miraculous! It's so rare to find azimite in this sort of form. They teem with psionic power and energy. It's so interesting."
Do we want to
go ahead.
Somebody grab a sample of that?
Of course.
Oh, I grabbed a little, but if anyone else wishes to, by all means.
Yeah, Glint, absolutely. Please.
Yeah, I could go and try to harvest a sample of the azurite. How do you spell that, by the way?
Azurite. I will post in the chat because that's just easier,
Yeah.
in my opinion. No check required. Like you can chip some off with the blunt end of a dagger. It's not.
Mhm.
This isn't steel or iron or anything like that. But I will say, Glint, with your stone cunning and knowledge of mines, you expect that this was the primary resource that was being mined by the original creators of this shaft.
Interesting. And it's a psionically charged stone or gemstone,
Yeah.
I'm guessing. What is
Yeah,
it typically used for?
Um, let me give you that information. And these are veins, by the way. These aren't just like depositories or like where you find like little bits of emerald here and there amongst veins, or amongst veins. These are veins of azomite. Gorgeous blue crystal, and you would know that they only form from millennia of exposure to sort of passive psychic energies in the area. It is for that reason that it's remarkably hard to find, typically considered only found in like remarkably dangerous areas. Like your people have probably spoken of illithids, for example, deep within the earth. Only there might you find such a thing, and no one's stupid enough to go there. You would know that it can be refined into a fine dust, and izomite powder is a strong mind-altering agent that can induce temporary visions and other psychic phenomena. Indeed, long ago, ancient seers and prophets would utilize this to enhance their visions.
Okay. So it's like a peyote? Is that how it's pronounced?
It's kind of got a peyote thing. This is very, think of it like dust from Dune, or whatever they call it. I think they call it dust.
Spice.
Spice. Thank you. Other than the space traveling qualities of spice in the Dune universe, very similar, where it's a very, very valuable material that can be refined into a mind-altering agent, and is remarkably expensive for that purpose, as it is incredibly rare. Like, probably one of the more valuable minerals in Exandria. Beyond diamonds, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is a mine of significance.
It's like holding a sample is like holding a diamond, basically.
As you hold like a chunk of azomite in your hand, you probably have a couple hundred gold. Like you need to get it appraised because you've never actually had it in your hand and actually had it appraised before. But you expect you have in that single chunk in your hand. I wouldn't even say chunk, like bits that you've sort of sectioned off. A fair amount of wealth in your hand.
And just to verify, it is a crystal, like the crystalline structure, correct?
It is like blue crystal, like akin to like unrefined or like uncut sapphire, but it glows. It glows a gorgeous blue. It's a beautiful stone.
Got it. I might have an idea if we go through this area on the way back, but we will see.
Collecting this stuff is considered a fool's errand, largely. Like people who actively go and try and seek azomite are considered like people won't touch it. Like if they're like, oh, there's azomite veins down there, think of the wealth. They're gonna be like, no fucking way am I going near that shit. Because where there's azomite, there is scary, dangerous, crazy, psychic, aberrant bullshit, and everyone will die. So people generally consider it a fool's errand to mine azomite, but it is also sold on the black market by crazy criminal people who don't care about the safety of their employees.
And this is the only chamber we've seen the azomite in this mine so far.
As of yet, that's right.
Okay. I might be able to with sufficient preparation in this chamber, harvest most of the azomite within it.
I
But-
like that idea.
It's not a right now moment, because my spells are more geared at the moment towards defensive purposes, and helping protect us in the case of something trying to kill us. But if we have,
Oh yeah, I have stone shape too. Not today, but I might be able to help as well.
excellent. So I suppose try and mark down where this was. You're more of the map maker. And we'll give it a visit. So, Aaron's message.
But yeah, you guys could. Those of you who, once more, Jomen would say, "Fear not. I have been keeping my own record of our adventures as well, and know its location from our previous events. So notes in my good book here. But we should be able to find our way back here regardless. Let us continue onward. This is an excellent discovery, and there's certainly more on the way. If there's this much at this level, as we go closer to Solar, perhaps there'll be more."
With luck. It's worth noting, friends, that this is not a crystal that forms in the short to mid-term. It doesn't even form over decades or centuries. There's likely been psionic energy radiating from a point nearby for the last few millennia.
Millennia.
Yes. So Solon is, if that is where it's all coming from, is likely very old.
Pre-calamity old.
Most likely, yes.
Jorman will certainly pump in and say, "Oh yes, my research definitely indicates that Solar is a pre-calamity city, and the evidence of this gemstones here either suggests one of two things: that Solar was around for a couple thousand years before its fall, or perhaps it is still inhabited. I mean, we did meet an aboleth yesterday."
The latter
I
is what
don't know
worries
that
me.
we want that second option to be a thing.
No, I don't expect we do. If that is the case, we are going to need significant psionic protection. But let us venture forth and see what dangers lie ahead. And if they grow too much, we can always turn back. But in the meantime, adventure awaits.
Right, where to?
This way. He'll point down one of the two mine shafts, and will begin confidently walking down in that direction as he flips through the pages of his books. And with that, we should end our session. It is about that time. You guys have stumbled onto quite a mine of wealth, literally, for the second time.
Yeah.
For the second time.
Jakal, you guys, maybe you guys shouldn't have been the Aurora Concordant. Maybe you should have been the whoops, we're rich. Maybe that's what you should call yourselves.
You're now the Azomite Ascendancy.
Yeah, we are now the Hazamite Ascendancy. That's right. Let's open a bank. Let's do it. Incredible. We will continue the adventure into the Crystal Fen Caverns and deeper